All right, and we are live, folks. What's going on? Wait, fix my the sweater's a little discombobulated here, but what's going on, folks? We're here. We're live. Got my dog behind me. I am upstairs today in the living room because it's freezing cold, and my blankets is it's in the laundry, I think, and I don't want to be wearing the only other blankets are like you know, there's an aerial blanket, there's a pink one. I'm not gonna be wearing that on stream. All right. I'm not gonna do that. So that's just that would be a little awkward. So I just decided, you know what, I'm gonna be up here, a little warmer up here in the living room, and we'll just do this here. It's fine. It is what it is. I just had to wait a little bit just for the noise to calm down in the house. But happened to be home today, so should be good to do live. Yeah. So we're gonna be doing a review of yesterday's live stream, which I didn't watch all of. I saw part of it, but Inspiring Philosophies YouTube channel. So like maybe Michael Jones and Fan Christopoulos, I believe his name is. I don't know if I'm pronouncing the last name. I know about him. All right, I know who he is. He's a pretty cool guy. Pretty cool guy. So they on the channel Inspiring Philosophy hosted a live stream, and it was supposed to be a call-in show, but apparently I don't know when exactly, maybe like right before the stream they popped in, but um DeenResponds and Libyano, aka the Orthodox Muslim, were backstage. And so they sort of kicked off the live stream, and most of it was like a discussion between all of them. It started with the Islamic dilemma, I believe. Then I think it got into the deity of Christ. So yeah, it was a conversation. Was it a good conversation? I'm not sure. I watched part of it, and so far it's horrendous, and mostly because of Libyano, just the way he's acting. I read comments that were kind of reviewing it, and a lot of comments said that Dean conducted himself well. So I can't verify that myself, but a lot of comments, these are not Muslims, these are Christians saying this, that Dean conducted himself well. So if he did, I give him props for that. That's a good thing. But from what I've been watching so far, Libyano has been conducting himself horrendously. So that's. I think we're going to start this now. Let's see, share. Let's go full screen. Okay, hold on. No. Okay, hold on. There we go.
Welcome, everyone. Hope you're all happy. Let me explain what's going on today. So we were streaming last night with Chris, talking about doing a live today, and apparently we got some trolls from the Orthodox Muslim stream demanding we stop what we're doing and come debate.
Now, I want you to listen very closely to what what Mike is saying here, right? What he's saying specifically. Because then when Libyano joins, he's going to twist it. So listen carefully to what Mike does, and I'm going to point something out very important. Aladine says, "Hi, your stream's not clear, cutting off. I'm not sure why. I can listen on YouTube. 1 second. Let me see. Give me a second. Let me see if it's if it might be just on your end. Let's see. I'm gonna go your channel. I'm gonna listen here. I think it's just on your end, Aladine.
We said, well, we'll just talk to him tomorrow if he wants to come to the call-in stream. He's here right now. But then this morning, Nick had messaged me of Fearless Truth, said Orthodox Muslim was calling him out as well on Twitter, asked if he could come. So I said, sure, why not? Why not at all? If he wants to call us all out, he wants to talk to us, he can come in and talk to us. Also, Dean is welcome as well. He was in the chat. So if he wants to come up, he hasn't not come up yet. He's more than welcome to join us, and we will have a conversation today. Our goal today was to talk about the Islamic dilemma and why Islam is false. So if the Orthodox Muslim or Dean want to try to respond to that, they're more than welcome to. Now, to be clear, we're not going to gang up on them. Okay, I am more than willing to let Chris and Nick of Fearless Truth do most of the talking. After all, they're the guests. We want to be courteous. Okay, they were being called out. They were calling out as well. So we're more than willing. But I mean, we will also. I'm going to try very hard not to gang up, but I'm not. That doesn't mean I'm just going to like moderate. So that's where we're at. So I'll bring Orthodox Muslim in now. He's more than welcome to join us again.
Okay, so this is just a quick summary, right? Mike said he kind of recapped what's been going on. He says that Libyano's backstage. He's going to bring him up. The goal of the stream was the Islamic dilemma, so that's going to be the topic. He said that, I forgot what he said about Chris joining, but he also said that, oh yeah, he said that he was planning the live stream with Chris in the first place. And then he said that Nick said that Libyano was calling him out, so he's asking to join, to speak to Libyano, right? And so that's why they're all there. And now Libyano, and the not yesterday's live stream, the stream before that, some trolls from Libyano's channel were calling him out to go to his live stream while doing a live stream. It's such a stupid thing, right? He's like, you're in the middle of a live stream, go debate Libyano right now, go debate this guy right now. Right? It's stupid. But anyways, so he said that he can come tomorrow, and so Libyano's there, and that he's gonna try to let he's gonna try to let Chris and Nick do most of the talking, but he's not just gonna moderate. He also is not going to gang up on them, though. So that's just kind of a summation of what Mike said. So let's see what Libyano takes from that.
He was calling us all out over the past 24 hours. More than willing to have a conversation with him. So, Libyano, you're more than welcome to join. How you doing? Oh, Dean just got him in here too.
Good. Mikey Jones, what's going on, man?
How you doing?
I see that you guys need some backup today. What's going on, man?
What are you talking about?
And what did Mike say, right? What did Mike say? That he was already planning a live stream with Chris, and that Fearless Truth asked to come because Libyano's been calling him out.
You were calling all of us out, so we decided
you need some backup, huh? No problem, man. It's okay.
That's fine. Just
wondering why you need to frame everything in a way that
we're gonna do it.
I do want to let you know though, Mike. How come you said that you won't be doing any of the talking today? Because we're here for you.
Wait. That's not what I said.
It's also not what he said, right? Mike said he's gonna try to let the guests speak mostly to be courteous, but he's not just gonna be a moderator. And he also said that he's not gonna. Oh my goodness, what was I gonna say? Oh my goodness, he's not gonna gang up on them, right? That's what Mike said specifically. So that's
not what I said. I said I'm gonna let my guests. All right, listen, this is how this is gonna work. I'm gonna talk, and then you're going to talk. You're not going to talk over me. All right. Now, as I said, we have guests, and as point, I let my guests lead a lot of the conversations. That is my goal. That doesn't always work out. That's typically my goal. So that's what we're doing. If you want to disrespect my guests, that's going to be a problem. But I don't know why you want to talk to me. We already have a debate set up, a month away. So
I can't.
By all means, hold up. By all means, we're going to be talking there a lot. So I'm more than willing.
We can also talk here, right?
Of course we can.
He only wants to talk to you, Mike.
I think he's still under the impression that Mike doesn't want to talk to Libyano when number one, they do have a debate set up next month on the YouTube channel, The Gospel Truth, a live debate, not literally just a live stream. Like they're actually going to go in public, and it should be posted afterward. I'm not sure how that all works out because right now there's no clear cut statement from Marlon from The Gospel Truth on whether these debates are going to be posted or not. They're probably going to be only available via the tickets as of right now, but then they're probably going to be posted afterward. We'll see what happens. It's obviously ultimately up to Marlon, so I'm not gonna, Paul Smith is absolutely right. Libyano constantly gaslighting and insulting. That's one of the strategies he does use, is literally gaslighting. So you say one thing and he makes it mean something else. You guys can see my dog. My dog is literally behind me right here. You can just see him right there. Anyway, so Mike, key point, right? Case in point. Mike says, I'm gonna try to let my guests do most of the talking. But I'm not just going to be a moderator, but we're also not going to gang up on them, right? Mike is laying the parameters. Libyano joins. Oh, so you don't want to talk to me? You don't want to talk to me? Right? That's literally the strategy he uses. Gaslighting you and then insulting, right? So it's really deceptive. It's really deceptive. I don't know why people have to do that. It's really deceptive.
I want. It's running like 3 minutes in. Notice. You're calling Nick out
already. Everybody's talking already, and I can get a word out. So you see,
it's okay. You can just talk.
Well, so the thing is, Libyano's. Yeah, I'm gonna try to get to that in the stream, Aladdin. I don't know when exactly that pops up. I might have to skip past part of this, honestly, because most of this is just rambling and whatnot. But yeah, actually, I might just skip right now. But let's see. I don't know when they start, around the 8-minute mark. We'll see. But yeah, I'm gonna get to that. Because I actually did speak on that yesterday on Brother Maverick's stream, because I think they pulled up the live stream part of it and they were talking about that. And I spoke of the Greek word proskuneo and how it's used in the New Testament. And actually, I'll just cover this right now, just in case we don't get to it. I'm going to cover it right now. I'll pull up the Bible. And so I'm going to go to Matthew 4:10. And it says here, Kurion tanteon su proskuneis. There's the Greek word proskuneo, right? Quoting the Old Testament. Thou shalt worship the Lord thy God, right? So thou shalt worship the Lord thy God. kai and auto mono latreoses. And him only, him alone, you worship. There's the latreo worship or latria worship, right? I think it's 2 words. I think in Latin it's latria, and then latreo it's the Greek. But anyways, so in the New Testament. These 2 terms are literally equated here in Matthew. Now, what I'm gonna hold on, let me go to Scriptures here. I'm gonna see if I can find specifically. Yeah, so look, right? Matthew 2:2, saying, "Where is he that is born King of the Jews? For we have seen his star in the east, and have come to worship him." Right? In that same Matthew that quotes proskuneo and equates it with latria worship, the wise men from the east come to worship the King of the Jews. King Herod says the same thing. He's obviously King Herod obviously was bluffing, right? But he uses the same term of worship. Whoops. Matthew 2:11, they worshipped him, right? The wise men. Satan asked Jesus to proskuneo me, right? You shall worship him only. Matthew 8:2, and behold, there came a leper and worshipped him, saying, Lord, if thou wilt, thou canst make me clean. Right? So on and so forth, right? In Matthew. Now, interestingly, if you read Revelation 22:9, Revelation 22, verse 9. I think I spelled Revelation wrong. Yeah, I did. Whoops. Revelation 22:9. Do I still have your comment up? I don't have your comment up. Give me 1 second. So here. I do see also Brother Maverick in the chat. What's going on, Brother Maverick? I don't know if you're available to join, but you are free to join if you want to. Just let me know, and I'll send you a link on WhatsApp. I got to get it done on my phone, obviously, but so right here in Revelation 22:9, we see the angel saying here, then he saith unto me, see thou do it not, for I am thy fellow servant and thy brethren of the prophets, and of them which keeps the saying in this book. Worship God, right? Worship God. Now, if you go up a little bit, it says John fell at his feet to worship him, right? There's the Greek word proskuneo, again, specifically proskunesai, right? Proskunesai. And then the same word where the angel says, do not do that, totheo proskuneson, worship God, right? Or worship to God, right? Direct your worship to God, proskuneson. And Revelation, I also used the term of Christ, I believe, in Revelation chapter 5. Let's see, I just want to make sure. I think it's 13 to... Yep, okay. Worship. And look at, this is all directed to the Lamb. Proskunesan, again, the Greek word. And it's directed to the Lamb. Look at verses 11 to 14. Let me close this. Sorry. So, and I beheld, and I heard the voice of many angels round about the throne, and the beasts and the elders, and the number of them was 10,000 times 10,000, and thousands of thousands, saying with a loud voice, worthy is the Lamb that was slain to receive power and riches and wisdom and strength and honor and glory and blessing. And every creature which is in heaven and on the earth and under the earth, and such as are in the sea, and all that are in them, heard I saying, blessing and honor and glory and power be unto him that sitteth on the throne and unto the Lamb forever and ever. And the 4 beasts said, Amen. And the 24 elders fell down and worshipped him that liveth forever and ever. The same Greek word. So in certain contexts, like Libyano was mentioning, it can be used of creatures. Fine. Okay, 1 second, Brother Maverick. Just let me finish this point, and I'll send you a link in WhatsApp. So the word itself, sure, it can be used of creatures, like in 1 Chronicles 28, I believe, in the Greek text. But within the New Testament, the way the New Testament uses the term, it is more so in reference to worship, and especially when in reference to Jesus Christ, when you compare the way it's used in Matthew and in Revelation. So, all right, give me 1 second, folks. I'm going to see if I can send the link to Brother Maverick. I have to do it like this. Let me see. What I'm going to do is, what the heck? Oh, I pressed the wrong thing. Hold on. All right, copy. I'm going to copy this into Discord. All right, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to... There. All right, I'll be right back, folks. All right, I'm back. Let me get my headphones back on. Brother Maverick should be joining us very soon. Yeah. All right. Now, let's see. I'm gonna go back to the stream here, and we'll probably get back to that again. We'll see. I don't know how long I'm gonna be live today. I'm not gonna be, I'm not gonna be here all day. I actually want to take today to do some editing, and hopefully get some other things done. So just pointing out, I don't know how long I'll be here. Maybe max like 2 hours. Let's get back to this.
It's not gonna work like that.
It'll work. Everyone else will be quiet. Everyone else will be quiet. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Give your argument.
Thank you very much. So yeah, we can have a conversation. I'd like everybody to participate, not just your guests. I'd like Michael to speak because we're here for Michael. But if other people want to talk as well, we have no problem with that.
Yeah, I'll start out and then we'll all talk eventually. We should make sure we're going one by one.
Second of all, fearless truth. I don't know why you're here. You were getting belted by Mormons yesterday.
Give a single argument they gave.
So watch this. Notice. I don't know if Brother Maverick, what's going on. I don't know if you saw this part here. So he's starting to just throw the insults around, right? Oh, you're getting belted by Mormons.
Yeah.
Watch what Nick does, and then watch what Libyano does.
Bro, man, you're a joke.
Everyone be quiet.
You were getting belted by Mormons.
Give me a single argument they gave that belted me.
Let's get right into the
Wait. Give me a single argument they gave that belted.
So he's making these claims. Oh, they were getting belted by Mormons. Okay, so name the argument they gave, and it's like, okay, let's get into the debate. It's just insults. It's just insults.
Yeah. So, that's why I've always told people, like, Nick, even to a certain extent, Mike, Chris from Speaker's Corner, they're all a lot kinder when it comes to things like that. That's why Libyano made it clear a long time ago that he'll never speak to me, because those things that he gets away with people like that, not that they're doing anything wrong, but my personality is very different, and people like Libyano are very good at fleshing out who they can get away with things like that. You know what I'm saying? That's why he won't talk to people who are a lot more aggressive. He does that to Nick because he knows Nick is just going to blow it off and get to the substance of it. But Lesbiano is used to getting away with that kind of nonsense because in his audience's eyes, that's a win for them. It doesn't matter if he makes any valid points academically. He's winning by being the douchebag that he is. Does that make sense? That's why. Yeah. You know what I mean?
This is a personal request. I have Brother Maverick, and I'm not gonna try to force you to do this, but I want to ask if you could try to avoid saying like duck lips and stuff, because I just don't want to. I don't want to portray that on my channel personally.
Sure. No problem. Got you.
But yeah. Real Faith here, Brother Marco says, I saw a little bit of the live. Libyano was booted because he talks too much. I think I did notice as I was like scrolling through the.
Love you.
Yeah, I was scrolling through the live just to kind of see what it looked like if it was a whole stream about them, and I noticed that eventually he disappeared and it was just Dean. So yeah.
They booted him because he insisted on talking over people. He wanted to make points and then never wanted to let them make counterpoints, which again is part of his tactic. He doesn't let people really talk. You know what I mean? So
let's see if I can start it as soon as it gets to, because I don't want to spend all the time on them just insulting each other.
Wait, not a Mormon.
That's all it was.
Sorry to see.
Right?
All right,
You do know 90% of it. That's what it was, right? When Libyano was on there, that's why he got booted, because there was almost no substance. He makes claims. I think the only conversation that they had was substantive was the one claim he made about the word proskunyo, and then when asked for an example, he gave an example that's in Hebrew, right? And I know that people like Aladdin or in the chat don't understand that, but if you're trying to use the context for a Greek word, your reference has to be the Greek word for the same context. You can't go to Daniel, which is in Hebrew, and say, "Oh, there you go. That's where it's at." It's not the same thing. So go ahead, Johnny. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and I covered that already. I think specifically the argument is that the Greek word proskuneo is used of David, but it's like when you have the New Testament context and the way that it uses the term, it's very specific most of the time. There might be exceptions. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
but even if there is, the way it uses in reference to Jesus and to the apostles and to angels and with Satan, it's very clear in that specific context. It's worship. It's the most high worship.
Aladdin did say something in the chat that I agree with. He says, "I can tell Mike and Libyano both crossed the line." I don't know about Mike if he's talking about inspiring philosophy. I do agree that Libyano crosses the line a lot, and he did it a lot. Inspiring philosophy did give him a lot of leeway, because he was on there for a while. If you remember, he was on there for a little bit. I don't know if you've looked at this before you got on, but he was on there. I'm sorry?
I watched part of it.
Yeah, Orthodox Muslim was on there for quite some time before he finally got booted. DeenResponds, to his credit, was extremely respectful. And I do mean extremely respectful. So credit where credit is due. I don't have to agree with you, but DeenResponds was very respectful, and I give him big props for that.
Aladdin asks, if you will mention my name, please let me join you, or please don't speak about me. So here's the thing, Aladdin. We won't mention you unless there's a comment that you make in the live chat, because like if you post something in my live chat, there's a chance I'm gonna put it on the screen and address it. I'm not gonna go through all your comments, obviously, but there's gonna be times where we'll address it. And I don't know if I want to have any Muslims joining today. I was thinking about doing that, but it's like I don't know what the heck I'm gonna do for the rest of the time, honestly. So I decided to do this because I really wanted to do this. I think this is where they get into the Islamic dilemma.
For a while. Dean spoke to you about the Islamic dilemma.
What topics of substance would you like to talk about after that?
Well, we'll see. We'll see what we want to talk about, but the Islamic dilemma.
So
sorry, we could
Islamic dilemma.
We already have, and with all due respect, Mike, not doing a good job actually responding to our response to you. You know what our response is.
Circular.
And it's not circular. You just call anything circular. Every time, Michael, every time you get belted, you say something is.
All right. Hold on a second. I just destroyed my StreamYard here. Hold on. Okay, there we go. I fixed it. He mentioned me without comment. I think he was alluding to something you said in the live chat, but it's all right, Aladdin. I'll make sure we don't talk about you unless we're addressing a comment. Brother Maverick, if there's something he says in the live chat that you want me to put up, just let me know. So, because if he doesn't want us to just name drop him, like it's fine. I'm not gonna.
I mean, I don't know. It's whatever. It's your stream. He comes in and he's making comments, and then we're addressing the comments, and he has a problem with it. I mean, you're in a public forum. You're on a YouTube channel. You're making comments, and when somebody in stream sees it and addresses it, you still have a problem with that too. So,
yeah. I'm trying to see. I don't know. I think he did mention. He said Dan. Yeah, here. DA. I don't know if it stands for Daniel or what, but. Anyways, we'll just move on.
Matthew and Daniel, and Fearless Truth addressed it in Matthew, and Orthodox Muslim continued to try to make it seem like the Greek in the lexicon was not saying what it was saying, because that's what he does. He's good at rambling and running his mouth, but that's all he's good at. It's like right now, you look at him. He's got that cocky little look on his face, like he's saying something that's even remotely intelligent, and it's this is how he debates.
Yeah, it's I'm not a fan. I'll be honest. I think ever since he started growing, it's like it just progressed and got more cocky. There might be some exceptions sometimes, but it's like for the most part, he tends to just be very obnoxious, very
he is
cocky and insultive. I'm not a fan.
Yeah, he's obnoxious despite having no intelligence, and it really is sad. It really is sad because the amount of knowledge that he has about the Bible is literally only rooted in deception. Like anything that he says is easily verifiably false. And he said, and he speaks through. He's what you call a sloganeer, right? He speaks. He's known for words like baked or belted, whatever. And inspiring philosophy is telling him straight out, yeah, we've responded and shown everyone that your arguments are circular. Muslims think that because they continue to assert that their conclusions are reasonable ones, they're not circular. But by very definition, the every single conclusion that they've come up with is circular. It's why in my debates with other people, including certain people in your chat, it's the same thing. It's circular. You don't know Arabic. The Bible is corrupted. It's not the one that you're talking about. It's lost. Either way it goes, it's circular because nothing that you have has a basis in historical reality, simply only in the Quran and your much later hadith. That by definition is circular. You're using the Quran to prove the Quran. That's circular. Yep. You can try to say it's not. We don't care what you think. At the end of the day, everybody else in the world is laughing at you.
To your point, actually, before I say that, let me just play it back a little bit just so you guys hear what I said.
With all due respect, Mike, not doing a good job actually responding to our response to you. You know what our response is.
Circular.
And it's not circular. You just call anything circular. Every time, Michael, every time you get belted, you say something is circular.
Are you gonna actually?
Yeah. So that's essentially the response that. It's a summarized one. Like obviously, Mike can go more in depth as to why he says that, but that's like a one sentence version of his response. And then Libyano's like, "Oh, well, you just say that because every time someone belts you, just call something circular." That's again, it's like that's not an argument. That's just rhetoric and insults.
Yep.
Right. And that's the thing. Now, I hope they get into the more substance later instead of just going back and forth with this because that should be what's going on.
Yep. You know, can I share something? Can I share something with you real quick, Johnny? I'm not going to read this whole thing because it's long, but I wanted to show you something because I know you did a video on this, but you know how I am when it comes to getting conclusions. You know how I am when it comes to like being honest, right? And I do not like when people do things. Where is it? There it is. Okay. So look at I want this is for your stream. It's cut off a little bit up top, and not for me, but on your screen. But that's okay. So right here it says discern the arguments in this debate between Nick from Fearless Truth, the Christian, and the two Muslims, Libyano and DeenResponds, and tell me who won and why. So you see that it's very clear, right? There's no inflammatory language. There's no nothing like that, right? So now when you go down, it declares Nick the winner, and I want you to. I'll share this with you, Johnny, if you want. I'll copy and paste it to you in WhatsApp. I'm not going to go through this whole thing, but here, look at. I want you guys to see very clearly why the AI engine says, and my instructions, and I'll even provide that to you guys. My instructions for ChatGPT are very simple. Only consult credible sources when looking up anything from history, when consulting anything from Islam, when consulting anything from Christianity. Only credible sources, only reliable sources, no social media, no none of that, only what you know academically, right? This is what the AI engine comes up with. Why Nick won? The Islamic dilemma was never resolved, right? Number 2, I'm just going over the bullet points. Constant burden shifting and evasions. This is the one that this is how I know that the AI engine actually analyzed it correctly. Nick consistently forced yes or no clarifications. Libyano repeatedly refused to answer cleanly, redirected questions, or attacked tone instead of substance. When pushed, he contradicted himself, first denying absolute confirmation, then conceding the scriptures were preserved and authoritative, then backtracking again. And this goes on, guys. Number 3, the general confirmation move collapsed. Number 4, the Greek proskuneo, this is the one I know Johnny wants to see. The proskuneo argument backfired, right? Libyano's strongest attempt counter was the Greek conjugation argument around worship language. This also failed. He initially denied the words were the same. Then he shifted to conjugation distinctions. Then he failed to show any lexical or scholarly basis for conjugation changing the object of worship. Then was shown examples where the same root appears for non-divine figures, undermining his claim. At no point did he present a lexicon, scholar, or linguistic authority proving his assertion. Nick and the Christian side repeatedly asked for one. None was produced. And then here it says rhetorical collapse and loss of control. This is talking about Libyano. And this is what's crazy, guys. Johnny, I want you to look at this. I don't know if it's going down, if it's scrolling down on your screen or not. Are you guys seeing it going up and down? Because I'm going up and down, but
I'm not seeing it going up and down.
Okay, here, let me stop sharing and then do it again. Let me stop sharing and then do it again, okay? Because I think that maybe it was I had it open twice and didn't realize it. Oh, hang on. I know what's going on. I have it open more than okay. That's what it was.
I don't know if it's also possible to zoom in. It might be fine.
I think I'll make it bigger. I'll make it bigger for sure. Absolutely. Okay, yeah. Okay, it's because I had it open more than once. Here we go. Okay, so I'm sharing the screen. There we go. Okay, so you guys can see that now. Okay, there you go. So here, let me make it bigger for you guys. Is that good?
That should be good, yeah.
Okay, so you guys see up here, look, and I've taught Johnny and everybody else how to do this, guys. All right, because if you really are interested in the truth, do not make the AI engine tell you what you want to hear, because it will tell you what you want to hear. Okay, make sure you are being very fair, right? And you guys see it here. CG, discern the arguments in this debate between Nick from Fearless Truth and the Christian and the two Muslims, Libyano and DeenResponds, and tell me who won and why. Johnny, do you see anything wrong with that prompt at all?
Nope.
All right. So that everything that I read, guys, here, the Islamic dilemma was never resolved. Number 2, the constant burden shifting, the general confirmation move collapsed. The Greek proskuneo argument, we went over that. Johnny, that's the one I know you're particularly interested in. Mm-hmm. Rhetorical collapse and loss of control. This is what I found very interesting. Very, very interesting. And this is how we know these AI engines are actually analyzing correctly. Because look at what it says here. This is very interesting, guys. Beyond content, Libyano's constant interruptions, chest thumping, insults, and refusal to follow agreed structure worked against him. Isn't that insane? How incredibly accurate a computer engine is at analyzing. All I did was download the debate script, paste it here, and tell it to analyze it. Even neutral observers can tell when someone is posturing because the argument is failing. Dean eventually acknowledged the need for a neutral moderator, which is effectively a concession that the discussion was not going in their favor. Dean's role. Dean did not independently refute the Islamic dilemma. He primarily attempted to slow the conversation, diffuse pressure, and reframe disagreements as procedural issues. That is not winning the argument. It is containing the damage. Bottom line, Nick maintained a consistent thesis, enforced logical consequences, and kept the burden where it belonged. The Muslim side never answered the dilemma, contradicted itself multiple times, and relied on rhetorical aggression instead of evidence. Incredible.
All right, yeah. So, and I think Brother Rafik has shown how to do this. I have a video analyzing whether Christians should use ChatGPT, and in that video, I explain how to also do that. Which, you know, if you want, give me 1 second. My birds are really obnoxious.
Are they hungry?
Okay, I'm back. I'm sorry. Like I can't focus with those birds screaming.
Are they hungry?
I'm pretty sure they've been fed already.
Oh, okay.
So they just scream all the time. I don't know. It's annoying.
Yeah. All right.
Anyways, all right. So we're gonna keep going.
Offer an argument, or you just do commentary.
Go ahead and give the. So Mike, go ahead and give the argument.
The Islamic dilemma is very simple.
Yes.
Okay. Your scriptures, the Quran, confirm the Christian and Jewish scriptures over and over again. Tell us to judge by the gospel. Tell us to observe our scriptures, the Torah, the gospel, and whatever has been revealed to you from your Lord. So if that's the case, then we have the authoritative scriptures of Allah, and we can judge by them, use them, and we can judge that the Quran is false. But if our scriptures have been corrupted, Islam is also false because Allah.
Hold on a second. Before we continue, Marco said they are praising the Lord. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah, they can.
I agree.
Well, if they're praising the Lord is interrupting my praising the Lord here in this stream, then that's it's like you remember when we were talking about in his TikTok
the Pentecostal, yeah,
exactly, yeah. So that's the deal here. If they want to do that, they have to start their own Pentecostal church, and they can do whatever they want there.
Yeah, no kidding. I'm not a fan, man. I'm not a fan.
No offense to Gary who's watching.
No, there's nothing wrong with Pentecostalism. It's like there's a time and a place. You never see Gary getting up and just kicking chairs over and screaming over people.
That would be a sight to see.
It would.
All right.
Is telling us to judge by corrupted scriptures.
That preassumes
we can use.
All right.
224, 241, 285, 568, 543 to 48, and so on and so on.
Beautiful. So that argument preassumes that the confirmation is absolute, right, Mike?
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't at all.
I asked the question to Mike.
Yeah,
And the answer is no. So Mike can speak for himself.
I think I'm gonna try to skip over that part because they just start arguing again. Because Chris tries to jump in here.
Mm-hmm.
I guess technically Libyano did want to originally posit the question to Mike. So you could say that Chris probably should have just let Mike answer, but either way, the way it was handled.
So, but my thing is, Johnny, is that why does it matter? Here's my thing, right? The way I look at it, if you know that you're standing on truth, why does it matter who's answering your question, right? When you guys are on my panel, I don't give a crap who answers the question because I know that you guys are going to answer correctly. Does it? Why is it such a threat to you that you're speaking to more than one person? If your position is solid, then it shouldn't. The voice coming through your headset shouldn't bother you, right?
Yeah, I think the other thing is they're already going to debate in February. I gotta look through. I gotta see all the debates.
Yeah, there's a bunch coming up.
No,
I have a feeling Libyano's gonna find a way to get out of it at the last second because he's not. I don't think he wants to debate inspiring philosophy. If that's the one you're talking about.
Yeah, they're doing a debate on it's the Gospel Truth Conference. I don't know if you know that YouTube channel, the Gospel Truth.
Mm-hmm.
He hosts a lot of moderated debates, and I think he analyzes them sometimes.
Yeah,
and he's doing his first conference with debates, and one of them it's a 2-night event, I think. One of them's going to be inspired philosophy versus the Orthodox Muslim on Muhammad and the Bible. So that's definitely, I'm definitely going to do it.
Dude.
I'm definitely going to review that one.
I can't believe he's silly enough to even take that debate. It just makes absolutely no, they just don't get tired of losing these things. And I'd be surprised if Orthodox Muslim shows up because he lied and told everybody that IP told him that he would debate him in 6 months. And that's not what he said. IP showed the email where he said, why don't we debate at DebateCon 6? He didn't say anything about 6 months. So yeah, but that's Libyano for you.
Marcos, I don't know the exact date, but right now, if you look up the YouTube channel, The Gospel Truth, where this guy hosts a lot of moderated debates, he's holding an in-person event. So as of right now, I don't think it will be available online, but I think he's going to post it afterwards and give the debate. The whole debates with everything, the openings and whatnot. I don't know how it's all going to work out, but as of right now, the only way to access them is by buying tickets. So I don't think I'll be going in person, but
it'll be available online either way, which is the only way I'd want to watch it. Yeah, I wouldn't want to be there in person.
Yeah, I will say I'm definitely going to review a couple of those debates there. I know James White is going to debate Dr. Justin Smith on the Trinity, so I'm definitely going to review that one. Definitely the Muhammad and the Bible one. I think we have God Logic versus Jake, the Muslim metaphysician, which he often backs out. So I really hope he doesn't back out of this one. They're going to debate the Islamic dilemma. Probably will review that. Yes.
Well, Jake had a really bad year last year, so he's probably going to try to save face.
I don't remember if there's any more debates I was specifically looking at. At least a review. I might watch a few of them on my own time, but I'm not going to be reviewing them on this channel because that's not the scope of my channel. I'm not going to review Leighton Flowers versus Jeremiah. I forgot his last name, because that's just my channel's not about Calvinism and whatnot. But I'm definitely going to watch that because,
dude, that's the one thing I do love I do love the ministry. I do love the way I'm able to do it. But that's the one thing, man, is that with my schedule, you got, you have 2 jobs, you got kids, they have all this stuff going on. It's like when you guys see me live, that's literally when I can go live. Like there's no wiggle room because there's just so much going on. And as time goes on, if the Lord opens up more opportunities, because dude, I would love to be able to participate in official debates or go out to these places and debate these Muslims or whatever. Dude, I barely even have time to get on my computer and have these conversations with people. So yeah, I'm definitely righteously jealous of people who get to participate in stuff like that. But for sure, in if it's in the Lord's favor, I'll be doing a lot more of that, as time goes on. Like God Logic, he's on full-time ministry. I'm not praying for full-time ministry, guys, because that's for me. My life is the way I know God wants it right now. After retirement, for sure, I'll be going for full-time ministry, and then I'll take Johnny with me.
All right. Yeah.
He'll be my security.
Security.
Juan Marquito Security Services.
Should be the other way around, bro. What?
I'll be too old by then, man. I'm in my 50s. Mid-50s.
Oh my gosh. Should get like, I don't know, Fan. He lifts weights.
No, I do. Yeah, I do too. Believe me, I'm never gonna stop lifting. Until the day I die, I will be lifting weights. I'm never gonna stop. That's why I love when Muslims call me fat, because it's like, okay, brother, think whatever you want. If I look fat, great. That means I'm doing a good job.
I'm imagining in my head right now, like Brother Maverick on his last day, trying to like do the at least some push-ups, and then he just arrives in heaven still trying to do them. Oh, I made it. Okay. Oh.
I'm here. Great. It means I don't sweat anymore. Excellent.
No, yeah, the schedule is a hard thing. In fact, I wasn't even gonna go live today, but it snowed. So like, oh, okay. Well, I guess I'll pass the time a little bit, because I was gonna do some editing, but my phone needs to charge. So just to pass the time a bit, I wanted to do this live stream while the stream is still somewhat a big topic.
Yeah.
And then because I usually like take screenshots on my phone and then put them into OneDrive, into the desktop, so that I can just place them into CapCut. So I'll just let it charge for a little bit just so I can do that properly. But anyways, we're going to get back to this. Let's see.
Hold on.
You're only 11 minutes in. Oh, man.
Just panic mode already,
right,
bro. You guys already was. I want to hear it from Mike.
Okay, Mike.
What are we doing?
Libyano.
Yes.
You're not the moderator here. Okay.
You guys don't like doing debates with moderators.
You've been calling all of us out.
Attention.
Oh, that's crazy. The guy he's saying, bro.
So my problem. I'm the one who's been chasing every single one.
There you go. Say it.
Because you're now throwing
finish my speech.
All right,
just respond to his question.
For the question of said scriptures.
So Chris has already answered you.
Listen, man, I don't know. I explained it to you. Yeah? I said no.
All right. So as long as as Mike tells me, I don't know how that your argument doesn't require that the Quranic author is absolutely confirming the Torah and the Gospel.
Not necessarily. That's
beautiful.
Okay, this is key. This is important. So, Libyano's asking specifically, does your argument require an absolute confirmation? I believe it is. Let me just play it back just in case, because I know people are going to be like,
no, you're right. Yeah, that's what he said.
No,
that's what he said. And that's because Mike said,
if you pay attention.
Yeah.
All right, beautiful. So, Mike, you agree that your argument doesn't require that the Quranic author is absolutely confirming the Torah and the Gospel?
Not necessarily. That's
okay. Key, right? Not necessarily.
Now, notice he's not saying no. He's just saying not necessarily.
Yep. So
very important.
Watch this now.
Beautiful. So then the Quranic author is not necessarily doing an absolute confirmation, meaning he's doing selective confirmation, right?
No, that does not follow. That does not follow.
Well, how do you make that correlation? When did he say anything like that? So, when did he say anything like that?
Yeah, he never said that. So he's twisting the words, not necessarily. Right. So if I say that, for example, if I say that, I'm gonna try to think of a good example here. If I say that Jesus is not necessarily claiming to be God in X passage, I'm not saying that he's not. I'm saying there's an alternative that I can run the argument with, but doesn't mean that I agree that he's not claiming to be God. So, like, for example, John 10, there's 2 Trinitarian interpretations. One interpretation, and this is the most popular one, is that Jesus is claiming to be one in essence in John 10:30. The other interpretation is that he's claiming to be one in purpose, but he's one in purpose to the point where he's God, because he's one in salvation with the Father. And the language it uses is divine language. Those are like the two interpretations. So I can say that Jesus is not necessarily claiming to be one in essence, but it's not mean doesn't mean I deny that. I'm just saying, like, I don't need that interpretation. So with Mike here, he can grant a general confirmation, but that's not going to be really effective for the Islamic position either way, because the general truths of the Bible still contradict Islam. And yeah, so that's...
Yep. But even then, Johnny, I don't understand why they don't understand that when you're making an affirmation, the two very important things. Number one, your book, which claims to be detailed, does not say anything about a selective or a general affirmation, right? As a matter of fact, it repeatedly calls the previous scriptures guidance and light and says that the truth are found in them. It doesn't say selectively. It doesn't say used to be, right? So that's number one. Number two, even if that was the case, how do they think that it gets them out of the dilemma? Because like you said, the messages don't align. So you're affirming truth in scriptures where the way that people worship God, the way that they have relationships with God, the way that they look at Jesus Christ, and any number of literally over 1,000 other things don't line up with the message of your prophet. You're still stuck contending with that, right? So go ahead, Johnny.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep playing the video. I don't know if like eventually we'll kind of skip ahead, because if I feel like they're not getting anywhere, then I'm gonna skip ahead.
Yeah, I will tell you that the more contentious part is that the one with DeenResponds really didn't go anywhere. It was more like a roundtable, like a TED talk. It wasn't. It was exactly what you would expect with a DeenResponds. He was trying to assert general affirmation, whatever. He was very cordial. He wasn't disrespectful. Nothing like that. So yeah, if in my opinion, probably just focus mostly on the teaching your audience how to deal with rhetorical nonsense that people like Libyano try to put forth, because that's all he is. That's all that's all he does.
No, that doesn't follow. It means he may be. Doesn't mean that he is.
It's either absolute or it's not. Which one is it?
No. You said, because you're saying if he's not necessarily doing an absolute confirmation, that means he's doing a selective one. No.
Then what is
all it means is exactly what you said. He's not necessarily doing an absolute one.
What's the other option? What's the other option?
No. Oh my days.
Chris, what is he doing?
What's the other option?
So I think here about Fan is about to clarify, and then this is. I'll just
You use the word necessarily, right? If you're not necessarily doing something, doesn't mean that you have to be doing the opposite.
All right. So then if he's not necessarily absolutely confirming it, then what is absolutely confirming?
Necessarily as a modal. Can
I
add a clarification for people here?
Go ahead there.
The word necessarily is a modal operator. So if you are
oh my God. Yo, get this cheesy guy out of here, bro. This guy's
You see what he does? So you see what he did right there? I'm gonna tell you guys what happened from somebody who reads people for a living. Okay. When Than identified the word necessarily as a modal operator, do you guys know why the Orthodox Muslim reacted that way? Because he doesn't know what the hell Than just said. That's why he reacted that way. Because now he wants to hand wave it away because he doesn't understand it and he's too egotistical to explain to anybody or ask for clarification, because Libyano's one of those people that wants his audience to believe that he literally knows everything. So now he's insulting Than after he just said, yeah, go ahead, Than. Go ahead, brother. Go ahead. But the moment that Than is illustrating that Libyano doesn't even know what the word necessarily means in conjunction with the rest of this explanation and clarification, he immediately starts hooping and hollering. When people do stuff like that, guys, it's because they're trying to introduce distraction to pull you away from what's actually being said. That's all he's doing, because he does not know what Than just said.
Yep. And so the thing is, like, if Libyano did not understand it, it's not a problem, right? Like, sometimes there was a time on your stream, remember, Brother Mac, that someone was using like philosophical terminology when I was still trying to develop my understanding of it. And so I asked for clarification. It was like, oh, use ChatGPT, or whatever.
I remember that. Yeah,
when I literally I connected the dots in my head. So I was just waiting for you guys to finish. But anyway, so like if I don't understand something, I'll ask for clarification.
Right.
whether it's I don't understand the term or I don't understand how the person's using it. There's no
Correct.
problem with that.
No.
The way Libyano reacted was like, okay, that's very concerning. Why are you suddenly just
He launched
getting
ad homs.
animated?
Yeah, he launched ad homs right away. Get this cheesy guy out of here.
So
Instead of saying, no, I disagree with that. I disagree with your classification of the word necessarily, and this is why. He just starts screaming like a 16-year-old girl who just saw a guy that she likes. You know what I mean? Like, what are you doing, bro? What are you doing? Seriously. No, honestly, what are you doing? That's embarrassing. You don't get embarrassed? You know, come on, man.
and also Thanier, he's not even trying to necessarily debate here. He's just trying to add like this is
He's adding clarity.
Stuff.
Yeah, he's adding clarity,
right?
Yeah.
That's all it is. You just
God, I'm sorry, Johnny. I'm sick. If it's nasty, just let me know. I'll mute my mic because I'm really sick right now. So
that's fine.
Oh, dude,
So-
I saw your comment too. The one with the dude. I just saw it right now.
my
That's why I was
gosh.
laughing about nah, I'm an American. Hey, brother, are you a Muslim? No, I'm an American. What?
Dude.
Dude, your laugh was so loud.
It was, dude. That's I rarely laugh like that. Like sometimes I'll
I
laugh,
know.
it'd be like
right.
then the timing the timing was like it was so perfect. Even word like we laughed at the exact same time.
Yeah.
Dude,
I know. Believe me, I know.
maybe we'll play that at the end just for the
Yeah. All I gotta do is click your comment. It takes it right to the timestamp.
yeah, that's
That's hilarious.
also the Yoda, the
Oh yeah.
hilarious they are.
Hilarious they are, yeah.
All right. All right, let's keep going. I'll gotta pick up where we were.
I want to see. I want to let's
Oh,
see how Orthodox. Let's see how Orthodox actually. Let this one play out, Johnny. I want to see how if Orthodox ever actually addresses what Dan says, because I bet you guys $20 that they never actually even address what Dan says because Libyano doesn't even understand what he said.
I know big words scare
Yeah,
you.
so
but-
let's bring up
Let's bring up
Popenberg again,
Let me,
bro.
let me, let me,
Let's bring
we're
up-
not, so Fan, we're
Big
not
words
talking
scaring
about,
you? Is that what's going on?
no, it's not that big word scare me. Fan knows we're not talking about, he knows we're not talking about modal logic.
You're
We're
not.
obviously
When
not.
Mike is
Okay,
saying not
let me finish,
necessarily,
Let me finish, Fan,
he's
let me
saying,
finish, Fan, let me finish.
no, I'm not going to let you
You're
finish because I
embarrassing-
started talking and you
you're
just started acting like a
embarrassing
buffoon.
Everybody
I'm
here is
embarrassing myself
embarrassed
because big words
we're not,
scare you.
We're not talking about modal logic, dude.
Everyone knows we're not.
Are you cheesy, bro? What's wrong?
Wait,
We're not talking
there's a
about modal
difference
logic.
between you talking about modal logic and Mike using a modal operator.
Mike
when
is using a
Mike
modal
said-
operator?
Yes, when Mike said not necessarily, he's saying it's not the case that it's logically necessary that he is.
It's not
And
the
then-
case that he's logic. Bro,
So
this
I am
guy.
pointing out. So I'm pointing out that you guys just go past each other. I'm not implying that you're using it. Try to keep up. It's fine.
Yo, bro,
Give
you're
you a
lame as hell,
clarification
bro.
so you can actually move on.
All right. Thank you for adding. Thank you for adding nothing to the conversation, Dan. Now go back to.
It's exactly what I said.
Yeah.
It's exactly now. Notice what he was doing, guys. We're not using modal logic. That's Libyano frantically trying to make sure that this conversation doesn't go in a direction where he's completely out of his depth, which is most conversations, if we're being honest. And I'm glad that Than called him exactly what he is, which is a buffoon, because big words scare him. And Orthodox Muslim is not ready to have those kind of semantic conversations because he doesn't know what he's talking about, right? So that's what he does. Well, that's not what we're talking about because he's trying to control the direction of conversation, right? I will not lie to you guys. I had to pray a lot because I really hated this guy. Like, I didn't hate him out of jealousy or anything like that. I hated him because it's one thing that to be a deceiver the way you are, but he's so arrogant about it. And I really do hate arrogant pseudo-intellectual people. And I will admit that to all of you guys. So please pray for me that I continue to recognize that I cannot do that. And that's exactly why God knows what he's doing when he keeps people away from me like that. People like him, people like Korah. Because I wouldn't be speaking to them the way the Holy Spirit wants me to move. I would be speaking to them to just completely burn them down. And that's not what God wants us to do, and that's not what I'm going to do. So that's why you guys will never catch me speaking to Libyano or Korah, because I guarantee and promise you the motivations behind why I'm speaking to them would be simply to embarrass them, and that's definitely not what I want to be doing in 2026.
Yeah. And I mean, like, I've been thinking of since I have more TikTok access, calling into certain, calling into certain or requesting up in certain lives, but just after listening to this, it's like I might be selective as to who I call into, because if they're gonna act like this,
They do.
like, why would I want to talk to someone like that? That's not even gonna listen to what I say and then just dismiss it. Like
They won't, and that's why I stopped calling. You're 100% right, and I'm glad that you know that. That's actually a lesson I had to learn the hard way, because I was calling in, and dude, even Duran Dorsey was a witness to it. Duran, I called in one to that he was in because I wanted to debate them, and they kicked me out. Another one, the dude, I was talking to another Muslim, and another Muslim who just so happened to be there, who was a moderator for him, who called into my show before, started the 3 chickens fallacy. And I literally told him, I was like, brother, you do understand that you sound as silly as you did when you tried this on my show. And when I said that to him, he booted me out. That's what I'm saying, dude. Like, they don't really want you to call in. They just want to get clips. So you do definitely have to be very selective, because this is 99%. I would say 95%. I'll be generous. 95% of what you're going to get are people who act like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I mean, it's just like I don't think it's worth to call. And I'm not saying like do the Muslim boycott and don't call into Muslim streams,
Right.
but just be careful who you talk to. Like, if they're gonna act like Libyano and just completely ignore what you say and say, "Oh, thanks for adding nothing." By the way, Dan wasn't even offering an argument; he was offering a clarification, because the two are talking past each other. This is something I do on your streams when, like, for example, we're talking about corruption. I always like to clarify what we mean by corruption, because they never seem to understand it. Like when they bring up 378, that's verbal corruption. It's like, oh, but it's still corruption. They're altering.
Right.
So I have to clarify what we mean by corruption. So in the same way, Fan is saying, look, you two are talking past each other. You're not understanding something. So allow me to clarify, and then I'm going to get back to listening. That's all it is. And then Libyano just takes that. It's like, oh, look at this cornball or cheesy guy. And he didn't say cornball. He said cheesy guy. Look at this cheesy guy here. Get out of here, man. It's like, dude, just listen to the clarification so you guys can get back to the conversation. Go ahead.
But have you noticed? But did you notice what? And Libyano admitted to doing this when he was talking to Malik, and when Malik was attacking him and DeenResponds during that video that went viral. Libyano admitted to this. He said, that debates are 30% knowledge and 70% rhetoric. Libyano admitted that. And what's crazy is that right now he's focusing on what Than said as a clarification, because he knows if he wastes time on that, they won't get back to the original subject matter. They're not even talking Islamic dilemma right now. They're talking about moral logic, because Orthodox Muslim wants to focus on that. Because he knows if he's not focused on that, then he has to speak about the actual dilemma. Mind you, he was the one who told Inspiring Philosophy that their responses have not been good. Okay, so then why aren't you letting them get to the response then? You see what I'm saying? These guys, they're very obvious, man.
Yeah.
Sorry if you just can't go the basic philosophy, man. But
go back. Yes, go back on mute. Thank you. You're Mike's employee for all I care. I'm talking to the big boss.
I am, and that's totally fine with me.
Right. So let me talk to the big boss. You go. Be quiet, please. Thank you.
Okay,
so Mike.
No, you notice how he's playing it off. First of all, and I'll say this and I'll just move on. But notice how he's playing it off as like Than tried to come up and challenge him. No, he didn't.
Right.
He just offered clarification. He's gonna stay on mute probably. I to be honest, the way I'm looking at it, I don't think Than really cares to engage in the debate here that much. He just wanted to offer clarification, because I know Than is good at that.
Yeah.
Right. I've seen the content. He's very smart. Like he's pretty underrated, I would say.
He is.
When I was on a live stream where he happened to actually be there once, and like the dude was he was doing great, and I wasn't even understanding what he was saying. He was talking about like it was a I think Bayesian analysis for the resurrection. I'm sitting here listening like yeah, I don't understand what he's saying, but it's like all right. So the dude is smart, but he's not bothering to get involved because he just doesn't need to. And
and Libyano knows that. Libyano knows who Than is, and he knows that Than's a lot smarter than him. That's why he doesn't want him talking.
Yeah. Anyways, let's keep going here.
What is he doing if he's not doing an absolute confirmation?
Well, what specific verse are you talking about? That's what
I'm talking about the Quranic author's view of the previous scriptures. Is it an absolute confirmation or not?
There are plenty of verses where it's very much just confirming wholesale, as myself or Chris have said in the past. Like, for example, we talked about Surah 2, 41, 285, 291, as well as 568, one of the verses I go to quite often.
All right, so I don't know if I'm being unclear, but let me open up your ears one more time. the Quranic author
Oh my gosh.
and his attitude towards the previous scripture, okay, is his view of the previous scripture that it is preserved, inspired, and authoritative, as you guys say throughout the Quran, or is he at times consciously correcting material found in it?
There is no evidence that he is consciously correcting it.
That wasn't my question, Mike. That
Yeah,
wasn't my question. You have a master's in philosophy. You're an
Are you
educated
going-
man. So
Are
that
you
was,
going
you know,
to
that wasn't.
actually
That wasn't.
If you're going to keep doing commentary, we're going to start interrupting you. So why don't you stick to the argument?
So you don't like.
Trying to make your sly comments.
If you don't like my attitude,
hold up,
you don't have to have me here, man.
All right, this is your first warning. I'll give you one more, but I will have to mute you if you keep doing it.
That's
I
scary.
don't like muting, but if you keep doing it, I will have to.
All right.
Go back
no,
and ask the question.
No problem, Mike. My question wasn't that. My question was, is he saying that the previous scripture is authoritative, inspired, and preserved, or is he consciously editing material? Which one do you hold to?
I already answered this. I said the other, which is the conscious editing. There's no evidence of that. And what we see throughout the Quran is confirming the scriptures as authoritative, inspired, and alive.
Pause it right
Beautiful.
there, Donnie.
So then you're
Pause it right there.
Yeah.
So
While you say that, I'm gonna get my charger. Actually,
Yeah.
it's right there. Never
So
mind.
I want you guys to notice very clearly what Libyano is trying to do here. He's essentially trying to lock Mike into a one or the other, like a verbatim answer that he wants, right? Because for a couple different reasons. From a content creation standpoint, Libyano knows if he gets Mike to answer the way he wants, oh, I ended Inspiring Philosophy's career because he admitted to conscious edits, blah, blah, blah. And Mike's pissing him off because he's not doing that, right? So he makes it clear to him. And Libyano's question is stupid. The way it's worded, it's stupid because any Christian who doesn't believe that the Quran or its author or authors, as we all know, doesn't have the authority to edit the previous scriptures or correct the previous scriptures, our answer is not going to align with what you want. But that's exactly what Libyano's trying to get, right? He's appealing to Mike's ego. He's launching ad hominem attacks. He's doing everything he can to get him to accidentally even say what he wants him to say. Mind you, the way that the question is worded is very slimy. And then he's doing exactly what I've seen other Muslims do, where it's like, well, just say this. No, I'm not going to say what you want me to say. I'm going to answer correctly. If you guys remember, Ninja Dawa tried to do the very same thing to Grafted Apologetics. No, we're not going to answer the way you want. We're going to answer correctly. We're not interested in helping you create content or lie to your Dawa crowd, right? So,
yeah, in my experience with talking to some Muslims, not all of them did. I think specifically the one I can think of off the top of my head that I spoke with that doesn't do that will be Logical Analyst.
yeah.
The both times I interacted with him, like he wasn't like saying, "Oh, well, just say yes or no" or whatever. Like he let me explain my answers. So that's something I give credit for, even though I'm not a fan of his arguments. He at least lets you flesh them out.
Right.
But people like I'm not gonna say Aladdin, I don't, because he doesn't want me to mention him, so I won't say Aladdin. But people like in Marcos' live stream on Monday, that wouldn't accept the clarifications I was adding. Were like things like that. Right. They want you to say yes or no so that they can just get the argument and try to trap you with it.
Right.
But once you clarify, it refutes them.
Yes.
So case in point, the Muslim that was asking how many gods died on the cross, and when we both clarified that Christ, the person of Christ, who is God, died in virtue of his human nature.
Correct.
Then he's like, oh, well, you see, you guys can't explain it. It doesn't make any sense. Like, and so if we say, just if we don't qualify it, then they're gonna play with it, right? If you say one, then they're gonna say, okay, so then the Father didn't die, so is that two gods or something like that, right? They're gonna play with it. But then once you clarify, it refutes them. But then they don't want that. So right here, Mike is trying to clarify, just trying to give the best answer possible. Yeah. He is saying that essentially he's saying that his view is that it's an absolute confirmation, essentially, because of these verses like 568. Yeah. Now I don't know if in Mike's view he believes that there might be some verses that don't necessarily confirm the, like, for example, if a verse says confirms the Torah, that's not necessarily the entire Bible. But Mike would say to that's not a general confirmation. All right, he wouldn't necessarily say that's a general confirmation. He would say that that's that's a confirmation of a portion of scripture, but that does not negate the other verses that confirm the entirety, right? And so he's saying that there is no evidence of the the conscious edits argument. And we've spoken to this plenty of times. I don't think it works. Brother, I don't think it works. We have our arguments about it. I'm sure all the people on the panel have their arguments about it. I don't think I need to cover it now. We're just going to continue with the video.
argument hinges on the fact that the Quranic author is absolutely confirming the Torah and the gospel, right?
No,
I've used the term.
But one second. So let me get this straight. So the Quran thinks that it's preserved, inspired, and authoritative without absolutely confirming it, Chris?
Well, you guys seem to have the view that there's a general confirmation and that the Quran only confirms the major themes found in the scriptures.
Well, don't tell me what my position is.
No, I know your position probably better than
you don't know anything. You don't know.
No, my friend.
So I didn't ask you to tell me my position, Chris. I asked you a question.
No, you need me to.
You guys actually can't answer questions. Chris, I didn't ask you to tell me my position, Chris.
I'll tell you your position.
I didn't ask you that though. But
I don't care. I don't care.
He doesn't care, so he doesn't want to engage.
He doesn't care, so he doesn't want to engage.
I'm not. I
don't care.
Chris doesn't want to.
You've come on here and you've insulted us many.
So once again, I think Libyano is also not understanding. See, this is what I don't like about it. It's like every time someone says one thing, it always devolves into some sort of just an insult battle. I don't know how every time with Libyano it always devolves into that.
It's done on purpose. It's done on purpose. You guys have to understand Libyano is literally just trying to get clips. That's all he's trying. As a matter of fact, I don't see him not uploading it to his channel, but you guys have to understand that no matter how dumb this guy sounds, and no matter how dumb he is, his audience is going to claim victory on his behalf no matter what. Yeah, he's got the video up on his thing. It's an hour and 3 minutes. I guess he only uploaded that. He says, "How I made 4 top Christian apologists panic."
I mean, so far I have not seen much. No one. I wouldn't even know if I want to say that he himself is panicking. He's just abusing like insults and whatnot. So they haven't even gotten to any real substance yet. Barely touching the opening parts here.
Yeah.
But we've been here for an hour, and we've only got to the part where they're just trying to get the opening matters out, right? Like I'm trying to clarify what is your position, but that's all they're doing.
Yeah.
And every time someone tries to give an answer or explain something or clarify something, it always devolves into look at this cornball or look at this cheesy dude or you're a nobody, right? Yeah. Every single time, dude.
Yep. That's what he does. But then he names it as panic. And you can say, brother, you can say whatever you want. You know what I mean? It is what it is. But this is dawah. This is dawah. It is, I mean, what can you say?
Do you know how long they happen to be talking about the Islamic dilemma? Because I think I want to, just for the rest of the stream, just kick it off into the next portion where they start talking about the what's it called? I think the deity of Christ.
I don't even know when it happened. Because I'll be honest with you, Logical Truth says, how is 1094 working for you? It works for me just fine. 1094 works for me just fine. 568 works for me just fine. 543 through 48 works for me just fine. 1094 will always work for me just fine. 247. I mean, I can go on and on. I remember that the Quran is the one that works for Christians. It actually, especially when we're talking about this, it works for Christians a lot more than it does for Muslims.
Okay, I think it's somewhat here. I might have to play it back a little bit.
I love 1094 and I love 1092 as well. Because 1092 just goes to show that your God makes claims that are verifiably and demonstrably false and laughably false, if we're being honest.
All right. I'm going to try to see if I can find... I think the entire time I spent talking about proskuneo. So that's going to be... I'll definitely be commenting on that a lot. Let's see.
Excuses.
All right, Daniel 2:46. I just don't want 2:46.
And prostrates before Daniel.
Okay.
Nothing.
Yeah, the distinction is going to be that if you're in the matter of fact, what does it mean to be in the midst of something?
No.
Don't make it easy.
Go ahead and define it.
I'm asking you.
Go ahead and define it.
No.
Go ahead and define it.
I asked you, what do you think it means to be in the midst?
Did he say something, or was that? I don't know if that was Dean in the video. If that was
Dean. That was Dean. Yeah.
Okay.
And define it.
So you don't know.
Difference
So you don't know.
I already said that.
Go ahead and define it.
So you don't know.
No, I know. You don't.
So what is it? I asked you.
Go ahead and define it.
Great. So since he doesn't know, I'll explain it. It means to be in the presence of. It means to be in the presence of.
Is he in the presence of the Corinthians church?
He's not in the presence in the same way God is. No, what?
So he's not
talking about his presence.
So he's not literally spatially located, right?
Because you asked me.
Have you noticed? Let me address the hypostatic union. Let me address the hypostatic union. This is running. Stop. Can I respond to?
Chris, you're begging the question, Chris. You have to prove the hypostatic union.
All right. Can you show me?
the gospel, right? The question is, what is the gospel? We can tell this from the Quran itself because it paraphrases from John, Matthew.
Let me address the hypostatic union.
So I think here they shift into the hypostatic union. Logical truth says, yes, wonderful. And I'm loving Matthew 5, 17 to 18, 21, 12 to 13, 23, 1 to 36, 5, 39. And Luke 4, 16 to 21. Double stubborn, much my man. So I mean, first of all, this is gonna presume that the confirmation in the Bible is gonna be equivalent to the confirmation in the Quran. Now, we obviously believe in the Old Testament, so there's no problem in confirming that it's inspired. We believe that. But in Matthew 23, when Jesus confirms the Pharisees, we're going to understand it in light of the context and understand that he's not confirming everything the Pharisees say. He is confirming what they read specifically, right? Because they're reading from the Torah. Now, if you're going to say, well, then why don't you say the Quran is a general confirmation? Because it doesn't work like that. That's a bait and switch. Yep. The Quran, in its specific context, the way it confirms it, we can demonstrate from the text of the Quran that it confirms our scriptures. Just because Matthew 23, we can argue from the Bible that it's we'll say a general confirmation for the argument's sake, doesn't mean that now the Quran is also a general confirmation. That's not a double standard. The Bible has one standard, but the Quran has another standard. And not
only that, but your comment in and of itself just goes to show, because you are quoting from Matthew, John, and Luke, and you're talking about a double standard. That only illustrates really two things. Number one, it illustrates your own ignorance about what those verses are actually saying. And number two, when we're talking about Jesus and what he was saying, like Johnny already alluded to, he made it clear that Jesus was talking about the hypocrisy of the Pharisees, right? So he's basically telling you, hey, you know what? These guys are giving you the law. So the law, you definitely have to follow. But the way that they live, you don't follow. Also, you're overlooking the fact that Jesus affirming the Old Testament doesn't mean that we should still be doing it. And we're looking at it in a way where it's a general affirmation, because the uniqueness of Jesus Christ was that he could affirm that previous law because he came to fulfill that previous law. You have no such fulfillment in the Quran. None whatsoever, because the law has already been fulfilled through the prophetic actions of Jesus Christ, right? So the dietary laws, the ceremonial laws, those ordinance laws, those were specifically for the ancient Hebrews. And those were specifically so that people in the outside nations could know that these were followers of Yahweh. They were never meant to be a permanent rule set. And that's why Jesus came and abolished them and made it clear that the moral laws would remain, but the fulfillment of the rest. And that's why yesterday, when someone came in my stream and tried to quote from Matthew, trying to say, I've not come to abolish the law, he conveniently left out the part where Jesus said, but I have come to fulfill them. And that's exactly what you're doing here. It's not the same thing, logical. And you know why it's not the same thing? Because there's nothing in the New Testament that says, yes, I affirm everything. I affirm, and it's the truth, and it's this, and it's that. You have no fulfillment in the Quran because the prophecy has been fulfilled. Because your prophet is not a prophet and he didn't fulfill anything, you essentially have one guy saying, yes, the truth is in those books, and then simultaneously contradicting them. What you guys try to look at as conscious corrections are really just blunders. That's all they are.
Yeah. So I'm not going to devolve the stream into just going back and forth in the comments. And this is not an open discussion stream, so logical analyst. I mean, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Dude. Logical truths. If you want to speak further on this, just call into Brother Maverick show. Tuesday, Central Standard, 3 p.m. Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, Central Standard Time, 3 p.m. If you want to call in and talk about it, feel free. I am there most streams, except when I'm not available. So if you want to speak to this, like, feel free. But I'm not gonna stop the whole stream just for you.
I will be live tomorrow, 3 p.m. Central Standard Time, and we will address your editing my Bible, and we'll see how far you make it.
Yeah. So yeah, go. Like, feel free to call in and talk about it. I'm not sure because he also sort of alluded to the so-called Christian dilemma.
That's
so
okay.
I mean,
that's okay. Yeah. I'll cook them on both simultaneously. It don't matter to me.
Yeah.
None of these dudes worry me. We'll see how quickly.
I mean, he probably knows your channel. He probably knows your channel, but I'll just put it on the screen for everyone.
Yeah, he'll find me. He knows who I am.
Yeah. But just for everyone, just for the This is the channel, everyone. Just you guys probably know. He's like, let me just zoom in on this really quick. If you guys probably know who he is. Like, I don't know if I need to shout him out, but go subscribe to Brother Maverick. He's gonna be live tomorrow, 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. There's the schedule actually right here, right? So if you want to call in and dispute the Islamic dilemma or bring forth the Christian dilemma, logical truths, just make sure you identify who you are.
Yeah.
Because we don't change topics usually.
Right.
So that's the thing. It's like if we don't remember that it's you from today, then we're not going to change topics. But if you let us know, then
yeah, I'll happily make an accommodation.
But I will be posting and show you your proof. Love y'all.
Sure. That's essentially him giving an excuse for not coming to the stream. All right. Well, that's fine. Then keep your comments to yourself. Then nobody cares.
Yeah, we'll just move on. on. So this is the part of the stream, I believe, where they start talking about the deity of Christ, hypostatic union, proskuneo worship. So I'm going to try to get into this here.
Yeah, this is a good one right here.
We address the hypostatic union. This is running. Stop. You are talking about the hypostatic union. You claim that it's a major theme. Can you please prove to me the hypostatic union?
Name me a single scholar.
You see how he's cutting me off?
This is cutting him off the whole time, man. What do you want?
Mode, man. Mike, you want to
everyone watching, just know, when every time the Orthodox Muslim interrupts us, it means he's panicking by his own standard. I just never want to be clear.
I'm panicking, ladies and gentlemen. That's why I got 4 Christians.
That's why, look, interrupting. That's why.
See, like he always doesn't. I'm going to sound like a broken record, but he always does this.
Mm-hmm.
Someone says one thing, he twists it.
Yep.
Mike said specifically that by your standard, you're panicking every time you interrupted us. He didn't say that he's actually panicking. He just said by your standard, you're panicking. And he's like, oh, well, that's why there's 4 Christians on me. What?
Yep.
What? No one is saying that. The point is, if you're gonna accuse people of panicking every time, and I'm personally against interruption unless it's really necessary. Like if someone's monologuing, which I think I could have done better with, but either way, he conceded something huge. That guy, what's his name? The one from yesterday that you spoke to and that I spoke to that said that we can't know the Quran. Like there was points where I probably should have cut him off, but I was trying to listen because I want to see if he said something I disagreed with, and he just ended up saying things I agreed with, so it was a waste of time. But anyways, so like there's a time to interrupt. Yes, there's a time to interrupt. But if and now I don't know how many times they interrupted. I don't know all the specific context, but if you just interrupt every single time and don't let your opponent speak, if it's just constant interruption, but then you accuse them of panicking when they interrupt you, dude, you by your standard, you're panicking.
Yep.
That's what Mike is saying, and he's twisting that. So I'm gonna go forward a little bit because I really want them to just get to the meat and potatoes.
Why he has to make that kind of argument?
Okay
because bro, stop talking.
You misrepresented
argument. Stop. Like you could correct me. You could correct me. Oh my god, this is crazy, bro.
Why didn't you start by saying no one's gonna interrupt each other?
I said we're gonna try to minimize it.
He's been interrupting me this entire time.
But he came in and started interrupting everything.
I got you. Chris, you made the claim that the hypostatic union is in the Gospels, and therefore the Quran will be confirming that.
In the major theme in
the
Gospel.
We have no reason to assume that. Prove the hypostatic union from the Gospel.
Name me a single Christian scholar that thinks that the incarnation has no is not a major theme in the Gospel.
Name a scholar. Wait, name a scholar that does.
N.T. Wright.
Bring the quote.
You want me to go digging into Wright's work right now?
Bring the quote where he says the hypostatic union is a major.
Is a major thing.
I'm
not aware of a single Christian that's like, yeah, the incarnation. That's not a major part.
Oh, exactly.
Christian.
Thank you very much. This one I started.
I personally wouldn't have gone the route of scholars. It's always a fruitless conversation. I mean, sometimes it's beneficial when you do it right. Like if you're gonna have scholars arguments, that's fine. But the way Chris, I just wouldn't have gone down that route personally.
Yeah.
So let's keep going.
I mean, that's definitely something they do. Central Dawa loves that. Central Dawa wants to sit there and name scholars and lie about everything they say. Libyano does that all the time. DeenResponds does that all the time. So I mean, maybe he was anticipating. I don't know.
Yeah, it's just like it's sort of like when Proverbs says, "Don't answer the fool according to their folly, lest you be like them." Right. So if you're going to sort of devolve to their methods, I would not, because that's going to be considered being like them. It's good to talk about scholars sometimes, but ultimately I think what the meat of the conversation should be about the text, not what X scholar says.
Right.
So it's just, I'm going to try to hopefully get to the actual text, because scholars is one thing, but what does the text say? Right.
Yeah.
So,
on all
Let me
of
speak. Hypostatic union is a major theme, by the way. Big Bird.
Panic mode.
Yeah, great. Well, what's the objective criteria to be considered a hypostatic
Show
union?
the hypostatic union is a major theme, by the way. Big Bird.
Panic mode.
Yeah, great. Well, what's the objective criteria to be considered a major theme?
You got to ask Chris.
But ask Chris. He's the one.
I'm asking you. According to you asked me.
Bro, can I,
Chris
this
is
one,
the
have you noticed that every time I've started to speak, either Chris interrupts
I
or
was
Michael,
speaking to
and now Felix interrupts.
every single time.
All right, can I finish my response?
Yes, you asked us to
Can
show you.
I finish my response? Can I finish my
No,
response?
we're letting it. No, we're letting it.
You asked us a
You
question.
You literally asked us. Did you guys or did you guys not?
I got knocked out. Dan is just
Bro,
saying
I'm still
like
here.
this.
You asked us a question about the hypostatic
Well,
union.
Chris got knocked out. Mike got knocked out. Dan is just
Bro,
saying
I'm
like
still
this.
here.
This
Chris
guy's
is
like-
whining.
What the heck? What does that do?
Now,
So you-
now,
Yeah,
You're
I'm not talking
declaring- so
because
he's
you're
declaring-
crybaby, and if I
he's
jump in, you're
declaring-
gonna cry about my big
Hold on,
words
just
and the
let
fact that you
him-
can't keep up with
Dan, you
high
got
level
belted by
intellect.
AN.
He's
Let them- let them-
declaring
let them-
victory.
All right, so
Okay,
if I
He's
get belted by
declaring victory,
AI,
mind you. He hasn't had an official. He hasn't debated anybody. He's just been arguing with everybody. But you know, honestly, and not to be too inflammatory, Johnny, but the sadder part is, I don't know that Libyano thinks he's as good as his audience thinks he is. Like, they honestly think this guy is good. They think that what he's doing is intelligent. That to me is more pathetic. The people who follow him and clap for him and like his posts, that's the more pathetic thing. Because you're not even actually listening to what's being said. That's scary. Living in a world like that is scary, honestly.
Kisses of a friend are, wounds of a friend are better than the kisses of an enemy. So just let you guys know, right? I would rather that you guys in the comments critique me when I do something wrong,
Yep.
right? Rather than just be a yes man for me. I don't want that. I really don't want that. Brother Maverick obviously doesn't want that. Grafted wouldn't want that. None of us want that. We don't want you to be yes men. When there is something wrong, please just point out your critique. Like the majority of the critiques I get are not from Christians. They're from like Muslims or whatever, just saying something stupid. Right? Most of the time. When I get a genuine critique from a Christian, I love it because I get to now analyze it and see what they're saying and say, okay, I could incorporate that. Yeah, that's a good thing too. Right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, like I paste my discussions into AI engines to have them analyze them, but I would also love it if real people could also chime in and say, hey, you said this in the discussion. You could say this to word it better.
Right.
Grafted actually he did something similar on my live stream where I was answering Aladdin's questions on the Trinity, and Grafted had a great explanation that I started incorporating in regards to whether the persons are dependent, and I incorporated that. So, like, please do not be yes men.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to skip this because this is horrible.
Johnny. Go ahead. It's your stream.
Well, yeah, actually, yeah.
Units amazing
Taught throughout the
gospel.
Oh,
Okay, so yes, you guys asked.
It's all
Great, so
three
you guys asked the question: how do we know that the hypostatic union is a major theme in the gospel? My question to you was, what do you consider objectively to be considered a major theme?
Something that is taught throughout the gospel, something that is clear, unambiguous, and prominent.
Great. I think John 5:19 is clear, so we can go to it.
Did you hear everything I said?
Yes, something that's
All right, so
prominent,
repeat what I said.
something that's
Repeat what
taught
I
throughout
said.
all the gospels. Yes.
All right, beautiful. So I already granted that the hypostatic union is in John. I already said
Okay,
that.
great. So we
It's
can
in the
go to
prologue. So can
okay,
you
fantastic.
find it in Matthew, Mark, and Luke?
Yeah, let's go to.
Hold on.
Can
Can you pause it right there, Johnny?
Let's go to. We're gonna.
Was the original claim not that the burden was on Nick or any other Christians to show the hypostatic union within the Gospels, within the Bible, right? Okay. Now Libyano is saying that he agreed that it was in John to begin with. So if you already know that it's in the book of John, why are you asking the question? If you know the hypostatic union can be demonstrated in the book of John, why are you asking?
I think specifically he granted it for argument's sake, because I highly doubt Libyano actually agrees that the hypostatic union is taught in John. But I think the reason they're going there is it was pertaining to the discussion on the Islamic dilemma.
Yeah.
In that Chris said, I guess, that the Gospels contradict the Quran because the hypostatic union is prominent in them. And so they're asking him to demonstrate that.
Yeah.
And so now, obviously, Nick wanted to jump in because he's good at this stuff when it comes to, debating Christology and the Trinity, both philosophically and textually, may I add. Like he can hang philosophically and he can hang textually. He can do both. So that's what they're and this what we do in your streams, right? Like this is when someone mentions Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he's mentioned in this passage. You'll see my face. I'm like, yeah, you gotta look at the screen.
Yeah.
You see me,
Yeah,
and you're like, yeah, Johnny, take that, or that's how we run. So obviously that's what they're doing here. Nick knows how to do this stuff, so they gave it over to him.
Yeah,
and I would argue that you can grant the criteria of Libyano and say that the Gospels are prominent in the hypostatic union is prominent in the Gospels in that it repeatedly shows up, because the divine claims that Jesus make are all throughout the Gospels, right? Forgiving sins, the Lord claims, throughout John, obviously. In Matthew 21, when he speaks of when they're saying, look what they're saying, Hosanna to the Son of David, do you hear what they're saying? And he quotes a psalm about praise to Yahweh in Matthew 21:16. Things like that, prominent theme of the gospel, I'd argue. But anyways, let's get to the
Matthew chapter 18 is good.
Sure.
Matthew 18.
Go for it.
This is like 1 point out of 5 at least, by the way. So we're getting
No, this is the top 3 being useless and getting knocked out.
No. This is
not
quiet.
Now they're letting the rookie.
Yeah, let's let Nick make the point. Yeah.
What? See, I've said it multiple times. You guys know what I'm about to say. I'm gonna let it keep going.
Let's just talk about ad-libs, guys.
Are you able to do anything other than chest?
All right, so Matthew chapter 18. What does this mean? And if this doesn't mean omnipresence, when he says in verse 20, for where 2 or 3 are gathered in my name, there I am in the midst of them.
You said this means omnipresence?
Yes, if he says wherever 2 or 3 are gathered in my name, that means he's able to be everywhere.
Beautiful. Now watch him get destroyed by his main false apostle, Paul. Paul says to the Corinthian church that although he is not physically with them, he's with them in spirit. Is Paul everywhere?
Yeah, he's with them in spirit. Is that different than being in the midst of them?
Oh, okay. So you could be with somebody without literally being
Not
there.
in the midst of them. Not in the midst of them. How is he in the midst of them?
Oh, beautiful. Does Paul say that God is in the midst of the believers?
Yes, he is.
Beautiful. Is God literally in their midst?
Yes, God is omnipresent.
God is in my pocket now?
God is omnipresent. His
Is he in my pocket? Is he in my pocket?
Yes, his presence sustains all.
Yeah. So, Libyano was making the category error in between physical presence and then God's presence. So God is not physically present, right? I can't say in that I like, for example, when it says God appears to people, right, in the theophany, that's would be like a physical appearance.
right. Yeah.
God is not physically present in front of me right now, right? In the same way, like, or I can't say God is the Spirit is physically present within me,
Right.
but the Spirit dwells within me in the way the New Testament teaches, in that I'm a born-again Christian indwelt by the Holy Spirit. Right. So God is omnipresent. So he's in, if you're going to say that God is not, that God occupies everywhere, right? So then you can say in that sense that he's in Libyano's pocket, but he's not like, if I put this TV remote in here, right? Like it's not going to be like that, right? So, now if Libyano's going to say that God is not everywhere, then now he's limiting God. And now God has to move in order to get from one location to the next. Whereas if God is omnipresent, he doesn't need to go anywhere. He's already there, right? So that's a bit of an issue there. So when it talks about God in the midst of Christians, yeah, God is everywhere. He's omnipresent. So he's not in a pocket in the sense like if you have a coin in your pocket.
Johnny, can you hear me? Yeah, you're freezing a lot. There's already 2 times your audio and your video completely stopped.
Oh. Okay,
but it's fixed now. But it already happened twice, just so you know.
Did you catch like the main?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, just summary. Not physically present, like a pocket, like a coin in a pocket or wallet. It's God's attribute of omnipresence.
Yeah.
God in my pocket.
He doesn't have a localized presence in your pocket.
God
He's
in my
omnipresent.
pocket. So he's not literally
talking about his presence.
So he's not literally spatially located, right?
No, I can show you. I can show you.
Wait. Literally.
Really. Do you think Allah is omnipresent?
Only in his knowledge.
Okay, wait. Okay, great. His knowledge is omnipresent.
And lost.
Do you think Allah is omnipresent?
Only in his knowledge.
Okay.
Only in his knowledge. Okay.
Wait. Okay, great. His knowledge is omnipresent.
And lost.
Let me speak, guys.
The guy that can't do the physics.
Let me speak.
We can talk about it if you want to.
His knowledge is omnipresent, but he's not. What kind of distinction is there between his knowledge and himself?
Meaning he.
I'll be the first to say I would love to see Than versus Libyano on, the metaphysics on that. Allah's omnipresence.
Libyano's not smart enough to have that conversation. I will tell you guys, he's good at making himself seem smart, but Libyano's not smart. He's not smart. He's got a big mouth. That's it. That does not equate to intelligence.
Knows all places. He's not ontologically everywhere. We
Right,
believe
if
that God. We believe that God is spatially extended above His throne. That is His ontological place above His throne.
Right.
Yes, He does. Do you have a
Yeah,
problem?
God is
Fantastic.
physically
What's your argument against that,
One
Chris?
second.
Chris, what's your
Yes,
argument against that?
Nick,
You
Nick,
just said
no,
God
no,
is
Chris,
physically-
no.
okay.
Yeah, can you
Chris,
please?
let Nick
Chris,
go.
yo,
Let's let Nick go.
No, Chris
Chris,
said.
No, hold on.
Wait,
Chris,
wait,
Oh,
can I
he's
speak?
letting
Can I
Chris
speak?
run away.
Can I speak? Don't let Chris run. Chris just
You
said.
don't want to talk
Chris,
to me. Though. He
Chris.
does not want to
Wait,
talk.
what? Chris
Noted.
just so
Chris
tell
is the one
Chris to
that's
shut his
talking.
mouth if he doesn't know what he's talking about.
You
Chris just said.
just say, oh, man.
All right,
You
so
just say God
Chris-
is physically
Chris,
located
Chris,
on his throne.
yes. Do you have a reductio ad absurdum?
Oh, no, I just want
Chris,
any
you have a
listener to know
reductio ad absurdum.
that
You have a
your
reductio
Dawa
ad
guys
absurdum.
believe that your God is
Yeah,
physically
you have a
located.
reductio.
For those who don't know, a reductio ad absurdum would be like, for example, I grant someone's position and then demonstrate that it's false. So, for example, not sola scriptura, solo scriptura, which means that you can only use scripture. And I did a short about this, right? The reductio ad absurdum would be, we cannot go outside of scripture. Interpretations are not within scripture; they exist in the mind. So, therefore, interpretations are outside of scripture. Therefore, you can't interpret the Bible. That would be like a reductio ad absurdum, just for the audience.
Do you have a reductio ad absurdum, Chris?
No, I just think you are.
I do.
Thank you.
All right, I'm going to speak now. Great.
Okay.
Thank you, man.
All right, that's what we're gonna do, Orthodox Muslim. If you're gonna keep interrupting, this is gonna happen. Now, Nick is gonna talk.
Chris interrupted.
Chris interrupted
There you
first.
go. Go ahead, Nick.
Okay,
Go ahead,
great.
Nick.
Fantastic. All right.
Now
Fantastic.
you're muting me, Mike.
All right, there we go. All right, I'm gonna do it again.
Okay, I'm just going to speak. It's just going to be me now. Just going to be me now. Okay. The question is, if he's spatially extended, is this a limit by space? You're muted. You muted
Well,
yourself.
you said
Wait, did you give up on proving the hypostatic union from the gospel?
No, we still are. This is literally.
That's right there. It is right there. That's true.
So, if you track the conversation, it started with the hypostatic union, and then Nick is bringing up omnipresence from Matthew 18. Then Libyano brought up Paul's spiritual presence in 1 Corinthians, which obviously he addressed that it's not literally present, it's a spiritual presence, but it's not the same as being in the midst.
Right.
And then Libyano said, well, is God in the midst of Christians? And then Nick says, yes. And then now Libyano took that and asked, well, is God in my pocket? And then it turned into sort of, because Dan wanted to kind of critique that, the Muslim position is like, okay, well then, is Allah not omnipresent? And so Nick is trying to bridge off of that, right?
Mhm.
It's sort of the same theme, because they're still talking about omnipresence. So they need to establish that. Now, I don't know if Libyano was trying to critique the idea of Christian omnipresence, or if this is his face. I don't know, this laughing face. It just looks a little crazy. But I don't know if he's trying to critique that, or if he's granting the Christian paradigm. If he granted the Christian paradigm in the nature of God, then I would have just moved on from that. But anyways.
It is
Yeah,
right there.
this guy gave up on the hypostatic union.
It's not a red herring because you brought up that Allah
No,
spatially.
he did.
You
He
said
did.
Allah spatially
He's not-
extended.
Yeah, you asked me, do you believe Allah is everywhere? And I responded, that has nothing. What I believe about Allah
Yes, because
has
that's what
nothing to
you
do.
asked us.
Fearless truth. What I believe about Allah has zero to do with the hypostatic union of the gospel. So go ahead.
Right. So we believe that God is omnipresent. What's the issue with that?
All right, believe it. Show me in the gospels the hypostatic union.
The fact that he says that he is in the midst of everybody.
And I told you, Paul says that he is with the Corinthian church without bodily being
Gosh.
there. How's
Yes,
he there?
does he say he's in the midst of them?
He doesn't have to say he's in the midst of
What's the distinction between
Oh
saying you're
my
with someone
gosh.
always and that you're in the midst of them?
nothing.
Yeah, the distinction is going to be that if you're in the midst,
Can you
what does
pause
it mean
it
to be in
there,
the midst of
No,
someone?
no, no.
Don't make it easy.
So again, this is Libyano being willingly dense, whether he knows the difference or not. When Jesus says, "I am in the midst of them," he is claiming that he is with them, right? He would be in the midst of them. So spiritually, he is omnipresent, not physically, because we already know that Jesus is speaking about when 2 or 3 are in prayer, so too shall I be in the midst of them, right? So he is saying that when you are praying, I am with you. Jesus is saying, I am with you, that I am spiritually there, right? Omnipresent with you. He's trying to equate that to Paul saying, I am with you. And when Nick asks him the difference between being with you, as I am with you, like mentally, right? I am with you. Basically, I support you, right? I stand with you. If I say, Johnny, I stand with you, that doesn't mean I'm physically standing there with you, which is why Jesus made that distinction, that I will be in the midst of them. To be in the midst of them means that he is there in their presence. Does Paul mean that he is there in their presence when he says, I am with you? No. And Libyano knows that. That's why he's pretending that's why he's playing stupid now, because he knows that there's a distinction, and that's why he started laughing nervously.
Yeah. Just to clarify, the context of Matthew 18 is about church discipline. So from 15 onward, right? The sins of the brother, the step-by-step process you take. And then Where is it specifically? There it is, right? This is the context, verse 16. 2 or 3 witnesses that you need to bring. And so that's the context of Matthew 18, just to clarify for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't really change much about Nick's argument. Now, I have not used this argument. This is the first time I'm hearing it. So I'm not saying that it's completely accurate. I'm just running with it and saying that, like, hey, this is a specific argument, right? So Libyano is conflating Paul's spiritual presence with God's omnipresence, right? So let's keep that. Oh wait, hold on, I gotta go here. Oops, there we go.
Go ahead and define it.
I'm asking you.
Go ahead and define it.
No,
Go ahead and define it.
I asked you, what do you think it means?
Go ahead and define it.
You don't know.
difference
You
between
don't know.
you said that.
Go ahead and define it.
So you don't know.
No, I know. You don't.
So what is it?
Go
I
ahead-
asked you.
Go ahead and define it.
Right. So
You
since
said
he
you were
doesn't
gonna
know,
define
I'll
it.
explain it. It means
Yeah,
to
I
be in
clearly
the presence
don't know.
of. It means to be in the
All right.
presence of.
Is he in the presence of the Corinthians church?
He's not in the presence in the same way God is. No, what?
Beautiful. That begs the question. You're assuming that Jesus.
We can go to the verse.
Let me finish. You got caught. That's begging the question. Why? Because you use your conclusion as one of your premises to assert your conclusion, which is a big fat donut circle, sir. So let me teach you. Now.
Let's go to the.
What? Wait, what conclusion did he use as one of the premises? Hold on, what?
I don't know.
What are the verse you're talking about? Paul says, I'll show you.
This is panic mode. Stop cutting me off.
Paul, let's go to the verse.
You guys are muting me. You're cutting me off. All of you are panicking
Right,
because of one man.
Let me finish. Go ahead.
Stop it right there, Johnny.
Matthew 18 to say if two people.
So notice he's only speaking to Fearless, right? Fan and Chris are exercising restraint and not saying a word. Mike is doing his best to not interfere because he knows that if he continues to mute Libyano, he can play the victim and cry about it and go back to his channel later on and say, oh, they kept muting me because I was baking them. If he lets them talk too much, then he can claim that he was baking them. So Mike is in a hard position here now. Now he's saying, you guys are panicking. Notice, ladies and gentlemen, nobody's saying anything except for Nick. And Libyano is engaged in the rhetoric instead of engaging the argument. Again, this is exactly what the readout said from the AI prompt that I showed you guys. No inflammatory language. Just analyze and tell me who won. Even a computer engine knows that Libyano is a pompous, arrogant fool, and he shows that. He shows that every single time he opens his mouth here.
People mention Jesus, then he is with them. That's a non sequitur. It doesn't need to be that he's literally with them as some kind of God who has presence everywhere, because we see that this language is employed elsewhere to mean with them in spirit. When they mention Jesus, Jesus is with them in spirit. Another example is this. In the parable of Lazarus and the rich man, okay, when he goes to the place where Abraham's bosom is, and then there's a barrier between them, and Abraham's bosom is in bliss, and he's in torment, he says, how do I prevent my family from coming here? What does Abraham say? Tell them they have Moses and the prophets. Did they actually literally have Moses and the prophets? No. Moses and the prophets were with them in their teachings and in their books, in the books of the prophets and in the books of the Torah. That is how they had Moses. Same thing with Paul. He says, although I am not physically with you, I am with you in spirit. So it is upon you to substantiate that Matthew has high Christology for your argument to follow.
Yes, great.
So I think next year Nick has to just demonstrate the difference between what. Well, obviously he's going to go into 1 Corinthians, I think. So he's going to have to demonstrate the distinction, because you can obviously demonstrate that very easily, the distinction between Paul saying, I'm with you in spirit, and having the prophets, which are different contexts, versus saying, I'm in the midst of you, right? Those are two different things. So that's going to demonstrate that distinction. I will say, guys, I think around the 2-hour mark, I may end this. I do want to get to the proskuneo stuff, so I might skip ahead and get to that.
Does he say that he's with them in presence, or does he merely say that he is with them in spirit?
He says, I'm with them in spirit.
Okay, so he doesn't say the same thing as being
prove Jesus is not with them in spirit.
Where does he say he's only with them in spirit?
He doesn't need to. It's an inference from the text.
Where? Show me.
I just told you it's an inference from the text. Why? Because Matthew doesn't portray Jesus as being divine. So there's no reason for us to read this as Jesus being omnipresent in any sense.
He does portray them as being divine.
All right, let's see it. Let's see it.
Was he worshipped in Matthew?
Nope. He was given proskuneo.
And proskuneo, we can
this is it. All right.
show you that that's given to God as well.
No, it's also given to God, but it's also given to not God. So you have to prove that it's worship due to God.
Yes, because when they bow down and kneel, does anyone ever bow down and kneel, give proskuneo to anyone
Yes.
else? Okay,
yes.
show me where they
King
kneel.
Nebuchadnezzar, Daniel chapter 2, verse 46. Baked.
Okay, is that Greek?
Why would it be Greek? It's Daniel.
Is proskuneo Greek?
Daniel's in Aramaic.
Daniel's not in Greek.
Why would it be Greek? It's Daniel. Why would it be Greek?
That's my point.
The LXX translates as proskuneo, dummy.
Okay, let's go to it. Daniel,
Go. Daniel chapter 2, at the end of the chapter, where King Nebuchadnezzar bows and prostrates before Daniel. I just told you at the end.
You already said it, dude.
That's at the end. No, he said at the end of the chapter.
So just remember what I covered, guys. I don't know if all y'all were here in the beginning of the stream, but remember what I covered pertaining to how the New Testament uses it in those contexts with Jesus, with creatures, and with Satan. Well, Satan's a creature, but with Jesus, creatures, and God the Father, right? All those contexts and the way it's used, just remember that, right?
Chapter, what verse?
In the 40s, at the end of the chapter.
In the 40s.
In the
okay.
40s.
You know which verse specifically?
No, I know it's in the 40s. I haven't read it in a
Oh,
while.
dear God. Okay, we don't even know what verse. We're just making stuff
Daniel
up.
2:46.
Watch him embarrass himself now.
Daniel 2:46. Is that it?
Has anybody prostrated before anyone? Yup.
I didn't say anyone prostrate. I said prostrate specifically.
Yeah, it's proskuneo. Check the
Is it 2:46? Is that what you're talking about?
Yes, check the Greek. Check the LXX.
Okay, 2:46. That's exactly what he said. It's 2:46.
Yep.
So, guys, Daniel 2:46 says, "Then King Nebuchadnezzar fell on his face and worshipped Daniel, and commanded that they should offer an oblation and sweet odors unto him." So I'm assuming Nick is about to say that this is not Nebuchadnezzar doing something wrong, right? Because Nick was going to clarify his criteria, probably, which, okay, he didn't qualify before. That's fine. He's going to clarify it, but I'm assuming what Libyano is going to say is, "Oh, but you didn't say that before, right?" So Nick is asking specifically, where is this done to creatures? But it has to be done correctly. So, for example, if I ask, what the heck is my dog doing? Okay, he just ran off. If I ask, can you show me where anyone calls God, evil, for example, and then they point out Satan doing it? It's like, I'm not going to accept that, obviously, right? I don't know what my dog's just looking at me. Oh, my mom's here. That's why. All right. Stop. All right. So I might have to go away for a second. I don't know if I gotta bring in groceries or something. Let's see here. I'll keep going. We'll see what happens.
All right. Any specific Greek you like me to use? Any specific website?
Brother, just pull up the LXX.
Okay. I just don't want any excuses. Fantastic.
We'll see who gives the excuses.
All right. Daniel 2:46. Here we go. All right. Can I share my screen here?
Yeah, I'll put it up for you.
All right. Let me see. There we go.
This is embarrassing. You guys are all getting baked right now.
Bro, the only person who gets baked.
Bro, how are you four Christians getting baked by one Muslim?
Why do you got to keep saying it if it's true? Everyone would just see it. You got to keep trying to tell the
It
audience.
just baffles me. That's it, bro. It just baffles me.
Okay, sure.
No, really.
Whatever you got to say to give yourself some security there.
Yeah. Well,
And
I have the Greek in front of me.
Yeah, I shared it on my screen.
Okay.
Dean, you got the Greek as well?
There you go.
Yeah.
You said Daniel 2:46, right?
Yep.
All right,
If that's the verse where King Nebuchadnezzar prostrates before Daniel, then that's it.
Okay, which part says proskuneo?
I don't read Greek.
It's right there. So
Make it bigger.
yeah, make it bigger,
I
make it
can't see
bigger.
this.
Bigger.
I don't know how to make it bigger here. I don't know if you can make it bigger.
Watch this guy's face
It's before
go
the
red.
word. Yeah, it's before the word kai.
Here's what oh, goodness gracious, there goes my dog. Just really quick, I'm gonna show you guys on the screen what he's referring to specifically. Here's a Septuagint, and it's right here. So it's Kote ha Basileus Nebucha. I'm gonna butcher this. I'm sorry, I can't pronounce the long words. Nebuchadnezzar, right? So then the king Nebuchadnezzar praised him, worshipped, right? Proskuneo. So that's what he's referring to. Give me 1 second. I don't know, but now you can say something. I have to bring in groceries. So just if you could speak for a second.
Yeah, go ahead. Unless you just want to play the what you. Oh no, yeah, go ahead. I'll talk about it. So what they're doing, well, yeah, ladies and gentlemen. So what they're doing here is they're essentially talking about Daniel, where Nebuchadnezzar is paying an homage to Daniel. But look at what it says here in the surrounding verses. The king answered unto Daniel and said, "Of a truth it is that your God is a God of gods and a Lord of kings and of secrets, seeing thou couldst reveal this secret." Now, this is when Nebuchadnezzar says this to Daniel. Rather, I'm sorry, guys. I said, this is Daniel paying homage to Nebuchadnezzar. And what's funny about that is that Libyano is trying to make the assertion that this is the same sort of worship that people give to God, right? However, in the very next verse, it makes it clear that even Nebuchadnezzar is acknowledging Yahweh as the God of gods and the Lord of kings. So he's obviously rejecting that sort of worship because the very next verse makes it clear that Nebuchadnezzar is acknowledging the true God and the true kings, and even over himself saying the Lord of Kings. Does King Nebuchadnezzar know that he is a king? Yes, absolutely. So, Johnny, I thought you were getting groceries.
No, it was I had to let my cousin inside. Yeah. There's no school today, so normally she would be with us, but I think my aunt is still like teaching or doing whatever at her job, so she's gonna stay. So she's just sitting next to me right now over there on the couch, staring at me.
Who is?
Yeah, my cousin.
Oh.
Yeah, my cousin that I like to annoy. And there's
So,
also it's my dog here too. Yeah.
So I don't know if you were reading the Greek, Johnny. I don't know if you were going to go on that or keep playing the video.
Oh no, I was going to show everyone and then keep playing the video. By the way, it's Nebuchadnezzar specifically doing proskuneo to Daniel. Just to.
Oh yeah, sorry, I said it correctly originally because I haven't read this book in such a long time. But yeah, the context still remains the same.
This one right here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I can't see.
Is that proskuneo?
That's what you're speaking about?
Yep, that's proskuneo. Watch his face go red now.
I'm sure it's gonna go red. Okay, where would you like me to go? I'm here for it.
It's proskuneo. Is that not
It's right there,
proskuneo?
dude. It's in front of your face. I can
It's literally right in front of your face.
Oh, good
Why
lord.
is it-
I'm here on it right now. I'm here on it right now.
Does it say
Do you want me
proskuneo?
to show you? Do you want me to show you now?
Does it say proskuneo?
You want me to-
Nick, does
I'll
it say
show you.
proskuneo?
Okay, again, go ahead, Nick. Go ahead, Nick. So you can actually
This
make
is
the
so
point.
embarrassing.
Okay,
Go ahead,
listen,
Nick.
I'm going to show you that in Matthew 18:20 that it's two.
No,
different
does it say?
Go ahead,
I'm going
Nick.
to show you it's two
I'm
different
being
words.
muted. I'm being
Yeah,
muted,
you
by
are
the way.
because you keep interrupting him because you don't want him to actually show
No,
his
does
point.
it say proskuneo or not? Yes or
Go
no?
ahead,
I'm
Nick.
going to show you it's two different words.
Does
How
it
many
say
times do I
proskuneo?
have-
Oh my god.
I'm going to.
this is
Oh my gosh!
embarrassing.
Can you please listen?
Nick,
I'm
can
going
you
to
answer
show
the
you
question?
it's
Listen, he's going to
different
show you.
words.
Stop interrupting him. Again,
Dear
you were complaining
Lord.
about being interrupted, and here you are interrupting him when he's
This
trying
is
to make
this
a
is
point.
crazy.
Go ahead, Nick.
You guys are
Okay.
muting me, but
Of course, we're. I
Because you
won't-
don't shut the hell
and I
up. That's
told
why
you
they're
to do
muting
that.
you.
So stop doing it.
He doesn't
I'll show
shut
you.
up, dude.
Thank you. I'll show you. Okay. So if we go to proskuneo here, and I'll go to the Greek here, and I'll show you. I'll share this screen as well. I'll share the other screen. Right?
Go ahead.
this is good damage control, man.
Sure, it's good damage control. Sure.
Fearless truth. Your cheeks are red, by the way,
There you
like
go.
King Sylv.
I'm not read it all, but okay. Sure.
King
Let's show you.
Sylv's red face, red cheeks.
Okay, proskuneo here, right?
All right.
This is proskuneo, correct?
Context, guys. Context. He's talking about the facial cheeks. All right. Dude, my dog is bugging me.
Both of them are proskuneo.
Okay, is 4352 going to be the same in the lexicon?
Yeah, they're
as the-
both proskuneo. Yep.
Okay, now let's go to this one.
Are they
This
both
is-
proskuneo?
You guys can this right now?
Are they both proskuneo, Nick?
I'm going to show you that they're
Can you,
literally
can you just
different.
answer this
No, I'm
question?
saying
Are
they're
they both
different
proskuneo?
inferences.
Did you say it's not proskuneo?
Oh my
or not?
gosh, I said it's different inferences. Yes.
Okay, is it proskuneo though?
No, it's a different inference.
Is it proskuneo? Yes or
It's a
no?
What the hell does it
different
even mean? Different
inference.
inference. What does it mean?
Is it proskuneo? Yes or no?
No, it's a different inference.
Is the
Let
word
me-
Just
proskuneo?
let him show you on the
Okay,
screen.
do you know?
Why is he not answering the question,
I'm
bro?
showing you. Do you know what a parsing tag is?
I want to know if it's proskuneo. That's what I want
You
to
know what a parsing
Do you know-
tag is?
do you know what a
Let me ask
parsing
you.
tag
Yo, this is
You know what a parsing
amazing
tag is?
mechanic
Answer the
damage
question.
control.
I'm gonna
Is
show
it
you.
proskuneo?
And
So-
then you guys wonder why I cannot stand this guy. You guys wonder why he refuses to speak to me. Because I would shut this down so quickly, and God bless Nick and Mike and them for, because here's the thing, it's similar to like what happens with Aladdin, where it just becomes like a yelling match, right? So it wouldn't, and that's the thing, it wouldn't be productive, it wouldn't be edifying, right? But I don't think this is edifying, because what are we really getting out of this, guys? What are we really getting out of this? You have Orthodox Muslim wanting people to answer the way that he wants, and you spend the majority of the debate with him yelling over people.
Yep. So just to clarify, the parsing would be something you do to verbs, and I think you conjugate nouns. So to parse a verb, for example, the Greek word aime, I am, you would parse it as present indicative, first person singular.
Yeah.
So present meaning it's now the present. Indicative would be like like making a statement of truth, I believe. First person would be I, so there's first person I, second person you, third person he, she, or it, and then singular, right? So the number, so it's one, right? So if it were plural, it would be we are, but if it's singular, it's I am, right? So that's sort of what's going on there. So I think Nick is making the argument that it's going to be a different parsing here. I would not go there because parsing rarely is important to that extent where it changes the meaning of that word completely. So for example,
I think he's just trying to be thorough.
One
One
second. So go ahead.
No, I was just saying, I think he's just trying to be thorough. Nick has spoken to Orthodox Muslim before, so he knows his limitations, and there are many. So there's any number of exploitations that he can use in his argumentation against Orthodox Muslim, which is why he interrupts so much, because he knows there's any number of ways to defeat him easily and quickly. And the only way that he can even remotely save face is to continue doing what he's doing, which is run the rhetorical game, continue to burden shift and continue to interrupt. It's quite sad, honestly.
Yep. So, I was going to say, I would not use this argument particularly that Nick is making, because the thing is, unless he's about to prove me wrong here, like maybe I might be wrong, but rarely do these kinds of parsings really change the meaning of the verb to the extent that now suddenly it means one thing here in the Old Testament, but in the New Testament it means something different, right? That's going to be like, for example, have it being past versus it being present, that just changes the word to the point where it's two different times, but it doesn't change the meaning of the word. So I don't know if Nick is about to make a specific argument here, but just to clarify, I would not use this argument because it doesn't really change.
Let's see how far we can get through it, Johnny. I'm gonna take notes, and then I guess maybe we address some of the things, because if we stop every single time there's an error, especially on Libyano side, we'll never make it through this. Yeah,
I'm gonna try to. I might stop the stream at around maybe. We'll see. Once we get to 2 hours, we'll see how far we get, because it's at 1:53 right now. I want to at least cover this in depth. So we might go to like 2:10 or 2:15. I just don't want to be here way too long.
Proskuneo, yes or no?
I'm trying to show you that.
God, that's crazy, bro.
Basic.
Is it proskuneo, Nick? Yes or no? Muted. No wonder you're getting.
I'll very clearly answer. Two words in the Greek can look similar but be different by the parsing tag. The parsing tag is what indicates what the word actually means itself. So this is what I'm asking you. Do they have the same parsing tag?
Go ahead, Louis.
I want to know if they're both proskuneo, Nick. Can you answer the question?
Nick
went there because he said it's not proskuneo. Now he found out it is proskuneo, and he's doing. I already said this before. And he's doing the Mexican cha-cha. So can you please answer? Is it proskuneo? Can you please answer? I want to know if it's proskuneo, Nick. You're not going to get away. You're not going to get away
from answering what a parsing tag is.
Please tell me, is it proskuneo or not?
It's not the same proskuneo that's in Matthew. No, because they have different parsing tags.
It is proskuneo.
It's a different word. It's a different parsing tag.
That's not a different word. It's just the same word conjugated.
Look at them interrupting me.
I'm not gonna lie.
Go ahead, Nick.
I'm gonna answer directly.
He's muting me.
Go ahead, Dean. Dean, go ahead. You can go. Dean, go ahead. I'll mute Orthodox Muslim.
Go ahead, I'm gonna answer directly, but you're gonna answer the Libyano afterwards, correct? Okay, beautiful. So that word in Daniel, it's the same word, but just conjugated, meaning it's saying to worship. This is saying they prostrated or worship, whatever you want to translate it to. The point is that one of them says they bowed or he bowed, that is, and it's like, I'm not pronouncing, but proskunation. The other one is proskuneo. One is saying they prostrated. This one is saying they prostrate. That's what it's saying in the gospel, that is, right?
Does a parsing tag change the meaning of a word?
Now it's the same.
He's muted.
Same word.
He keeps muting.
Word.
Because Dean is speaking, dear Lord.
It's the same word with different forms.
Sorry, we had to have Dean speak because you can't speak.
He's muted.
It's the same word or not?
Question.
Libyano, one more.
I'm being muted.
All right, that's it. Dean, please continue. I'll put Libyano back in when you're done.
Wow, dude.
So, yeah, Ray, I'm writing it down. I don't know if you're going to stop. You didn't have to, because DeenResponds, actually, this is what's funny. Libyano asked probably 75 times, is it the same word? When Dean chimed in, he made it clear that it's not the same word. He's trying to make the insinuation that it means the same thing, and it doesn't. But even he admitted that it's not the same word.
I think what
are
Dean
we doing?
specifically, I think Dean specifically said that. Let me play it back. Let me listen. Let's listen here.
Well, listen carefully to what he says.
Listen.
The other one is proskuneo, the conjugated, meaning.
Go back a little bit more.
Orthodox Muslim.
I'm going to answer directly, but you're going to answer the Libyano afterwards, correct? Okay, beautiful. So that word in Daniel, it's the same word, but just conjugated, meaning it's saying to worship. This is saying they prostrated or worship, whatever you want to translate it to. The point is that one of them says they bowed or he bowed, that is, and it's like, I'm not pronouncing, but proskunation. The other one is proskuneo. One is saying they prostrated. This one is saying they prostrate. That's what it's saying in the gospel, that is, right?
Does a parsing tag change the meaning of a word?
Now it's the same.
He's muted.
Same word.
He keeps muting.
Word.
Because Dean is speaking, dear Lord.
It's the same word with different forms.
Sorry, we had to have Dean speak because you can't speak.
He's muted.
It's the same word or not?
Question.
Libyano, one more.
I'm being muted.
All right, that's it.
So, Dean is talking about like what I talked about, how the word itself is the same, but it's differently. It's a parsing, by the way.
It's parsed, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Conjugation is for nouns, so that's just to clarify that. But, so specifically, that's what he's trying to argue. And that's why I said I wouldn't use the argument Nick used, because they can just easily point that out. And you have to be careful with that, because then you can make anything mean differently just because of the parsing. So I would just make the
argument. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think Nick clarifies though right here, like when he starts speaking to Dean, I think he gets a lot more into it. I don't think the parsing was where he rested his entire argument. He went to that grammatical and syntactual argument because Libyano was being extremely disingenuous about the word being exactly the same word, and that's exactly what he was doing. He was lying. But I mean, you play it if you want to. I mean, you don't have to skip ahead. I'd probably be more interested to see what. I don't think Libyano ever comes back. I'd be more interested to see what how Fearless finishes off his argument here.
Yeah, I think we'll try to leave it off with that, because I don't want to say here like Nick is wrong. I want to leave it off and see if he clarifies.
That's what I'm saying.
Just yeah.
Dean, please continue. I'll bring Libyano back in when you're done talking.
I'll bring Libyano back in. Question. That's the thing. I answered your question. Are you gonna answer his now?
Yeah, I'm glad that you actually answered the question. I'd like for him to answer it. Because I think it's embarrassing that
you're being disingenuous now. You're being disingenuous because I allowed Libyano ask you a question and you're asking him one, and then I answered your question on the condition you answer him.
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah, and I answer the question just like I answered it again.
Okay.
Proskuneo is not going to be the same thing as proskunei, which is when it's talking about a different parsing tag.
One of them is talking about the do.
Wait, do you deny that parskunei is different than parskuneo in parsing tag?
It's the same. It's the same meaning of the same word in different conjugates.
Do you agree that
conjugative form? One second, Nick. You asked me a question. One is in the conjugative form, which is in Daniel, which means they prostrated down. Proskuneo means they prostrate.
Do you agree there's a difference between proskuneo and proskunei?
One is just in the conjugative
Thank
form.
you. You agree that there's a difference. My point in showing that is that there's a difference in the actual worship itself.
Okay, watch this. One of them has it in the conjugative form. The other one doesn't have it. What's the justification that because it's in the conjugative form, therefore proskuneo or proskuneson in that instance, that these two words have such a distinction?
Fantastic.
Pause it real quick,
one
Johnny.
is worshiping God and the other one isn't worshiping God.
Can you pause it? So when you look up, is proskuneo the same as proskunei, which Dean is trying to say that it is? The answer that I get from Biblical Hermeneutics, the Christianity Stack Exchange, Decluttering Religion, Worship Arts Conservatory, studylight.org says no, proskuneo and proskunei are not the same. Proskuneo is the actual Greek verb for to worship, bow down to, do obedience. While proskunei seems to be a misspelling or a phonetic variation, likely referring to the same act or related form. This key New Testament word, which means to show deep reverence, often by kissing a hand or kneeling or prostrating oneself before a superior. So why is DeenResponds lying about them meaning the same thing? When proskunei clearly means to show deep reverence. Reverence means respect, ladies and gentlemen, or by kissing a hand or kneeling or prostrating oneself before a superior. While proskuneo is the actual Greek verb for worshiping or bowing down to in obedience. That's what I get from my search.
Fantastic. Because proskunei, you will never find in the Old Testament in this conjugation given to Yahweh. You'll never find it. I challenge you to find me one time.
Okay, so just because it was never used for God, does that mean?
So there you go, Johnny. Pause it right there. You saw that? You saw that? So he did clarify. He said proskunei in the way that we're seeing it was never used for God. Only proskuneo was. Did you go back and see how Dean shifted real quick? Because they were the ones who were making the claim that it was the same word. Libyano completely lied and said it was proskuneo no matter what. Nick made the claim that because of the parsing, it was proskunei, and it was not the one that was given to Yahweh. And look at how Dean shifts. Go back like 5-10 seconds.
Because proskunei, you will never find in the Old Testament in this conjugation given to Yahweh. You'll never find it. I challenge you to find me one time.
Okay, so just because it was never used for God, does that mean that you can't use it for God at all?
No, we can use the inference.
What's the justification for that?
Yeah, we can use
See what he did? Just because it was never used for God doesn't mean that they can't use it. What? The fact that they didn't use it shows that they knew there was a difference. And the fact that proskuneo shows more of a worship, it has more worship behind it, whereas proskunei is about showing respect. You can show respect to anybody, but you're not going to worship them. Yahweh is to be worshipped, which is why they used the different word. Go ahead, John.
Yeah. Let's see. I'll let it play a little more, but I think soon we're gonna end.
Yeah, it's fine.
Inference from probability.
It's a bad inference. It's a bad inference.
It's not what I literally said. We can use an inference of the fact that this one is never used for God in the Old Testament. That we can assume that proskuneo itself is going to be used for God.
No, it's a bad
proskuneo is never used for God.
It's a bad inference. One, because can it just so happen to be that it's just never used for God in the Old Testament?
No, I'm saying I don't think that it
can it just so happen to be that it's just not used for God in the Old Testament.
No, because I think it would have been used for God. No, I think if it was used for God, if it could have been used for God, it would have been. I don't see any evidence that it can be used for God.
Why?
You know what? I think I will be ending it here. Because I think we've covered all we need to cover. And I will say, like, the argument that Nick is using is fine. I would prefer what I mentioned in the beginning, the difference in the usage of the New Testament, not so much in the conjugation or the parsing, but more so just the way it's utilized. I think that would be a stronger argument rather than just appealing to the parsing, because it's a really I understand what he's saying, but when utilizing Greek, it's a very risky move, and it's
to be honest with you, I don't think that there was too much error. The problem is that because Nick originally brought that up, I think the parsing was the beginning of his argument, but he never really got past it because Libyano just wouldn't stop talking and talking over him, right? So they got mired in that point about the parsing. Nick never even got to get to that point because immediately, as he was able to have a more civil conversation with Dean, he made it clear and began with the parsing argument, but then made it clearer that it was important to the rest of his argument, which is that it's not the same word. And it's not the same word because then he moved on to the fact that that parsing is what ends up making that word transition into a word that's not ever used for God in the Old Testament, right? And you know that Dean knows that because his argument was basically, well, could it be though? It doesn't matter what it could be. What matters is what's actually there, right? And what's actually there goes to show that they reserved that word for God and worship to God only. And asking could it be though is honestly, it's just such a cope. It's pretty bad. It's a bad cope for sure.
Johnny Ray Brown, yeah, we're about to end, but thanks for tuning in. I think what I'll do is, I don't know if I'll do it today, but I will try to post a short just to add my commentary on this issue, because I do want to cover more on the whole proskuneo thing. Maybe I'll do a whole video. It depends on how long I'm going to make it. If I can fit it into under 3 minutes, I'm going to make it into a short. If not, then it'll be a video. It is what it is. But I think that's going to be the end of the stream, guys. Thanks to Brother Maverick, obviously, for tuning in, taking time out of his schedule. I know he's a very busy man, but he makes time to come to my stream, so I appreciate that. I don't know if there's any parting words you have before we end here.
No, I'm glad. Like I said, huge shout out to DeenResponds for being a cordial individual. I don't agree with most anything he says, but I appreciate that he actually tries to have debates in good faith. He's not always, he's not always the nicest guy. He does like to have his little comments or whatever, but I do appreciate that at least yesterday, he's showing that he's trying to start off the new year having these conversations and having them, in a way that is amicable for debates. It seems like, some people never change, some people do. And like I said, huge shout out to him, regardless of the fact that you and I disagree. I do appreciate that you at least try to have a civil conversation. And especially, and of course, huge shout out to Fearless Truth for again showing everybody that his intellect, theologically and otherwise, causes Libyano to manifest. And I don't think that that's going to stop anytime soon.
Yeah. So. Yeah. Hopefully we get the Brother Maverick and Fearless Truth collab. Or hey, heck, even if you would collab with me, that would be cool. I don't know if that would happen.
Fearless doesn't. He collabs. I mean, I've reached out to him before, but I'm very careful as to who I ask. If people in their audience asks me to collab, I'll reach out to them. Whatever. I have reached out to Nick before. He didn't get back to me. I mean, he acknowledged it, but he didn't really get back to me. So I don't, like I said, I know that not everybody is huge on collabing. He does collab with God Logic. He collabs with the big names. I don't think he's collabed with John Steele. Yeah, he didn't seem too interested in collabing with me. So it is what it is. I don't take it personal, but yeah.
Yeah. I was gonna say something, but I completely forgot. Oh yeah, that's right. You're doing the collab with Elijah Apologetics
on Saturday. Yeah.
Right? Yeah, Saturday. All right, that's gonna be cool.
Yep.
So that's gonna be it. There was something I'll ask you after the stream if you're okay to stay for like 5 minutes.
For sure.
But thank you guys for tuning in. It was a bit of an impromptu stream, but I think it did do fairly well. I saw that the chat was very active. So thank you guys. I'm gonna head out now. I'm gonna try to take an editing day today. Gotta get those videos out, those discussions on Marcos's live stream. I gotta get those out, dude. Hatim, dude, he was not. I can tell he did not use the same argument on you. As soon as I started mentioning the Greek, he's like, just pivot to something else. But anyways, so thank you guys for tuning in. I hope you all have a wonderful day. God bless you all and goodbye.
God bless you guys.